Take me to your place. Have me in your ever after. Never leave me. Never go. I'll be over here waiting. Won't you stand beside me? Walk with me into the light, like the sun or the moon. This is my paradise. Something in your eyes. Somewhere I've been. Why have you come to take me? memory with certainty. I can't look away. Took your jacket off like you were here to stay. Chasing your pretty thoughts and your plastic love. There goes my mind. Let it go. You're that lace-trim danger. One day you'll be the face of a stranger. Stranger, stranger. I can't look away. Chasing your pretty thoughts. Sinking in my soul. Chasing your pretty thoughts. I can't look away. Chasing your pretty thoughts. Sinking in my soul. Chasing your pretty thoughts. Chasing your pretty thoughts. In intervals, you're sinking in. You're sinking in my soul. Thought to myself, don't you lose control. Started to undress you with my wandering eyes. Told myself you'd be gone by sunrise. 'Cause you're that lace-trim danger. One day you'll be the face of a stranger. Stranger, stranger. I can't look away. Chasing your pretty thoughts. Sinking in my soul. Chasing your pretty thoughts. I can't look away. Chasing your pretty thoughts. Sinking in my soul. Chasing your pretty thoughts.
Can I smack it up? Can you do a split? Can you toot it up? Super thighs, eat it up. Super sucker ready, let me shoot it up. Bang, bang. Woosah, got a new flow, got a new vibe. Back, break that ass up like I'm juvenile. Woosah, got a new girl, I'm a new car. She on the dance floor with no panties on. Bang, bang. Drop.
She back it up, is it fat enough? When I throw it back, is it fast enough? If I speed it up, and you handle that, you ain't ready for this work now. Watch me throw it back, 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 not too fat, back it up, back it up, back it up.
Like how she
Can you do a split?
Can you do a split?
I like how she
Can you do a split?
call me chief, knock a homer, you can't beat it with a bat. Dropping bombs, atomic dog, I can never chase the cat. Keep the spotlight on me, it will never fade to black. If I speak it, then I mean it, I will never take it back. My demeanor's like a king, I'm leaving niggas in the trap.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the sun. Ain't no surprise. You fell in the sunlight.
Once upon a time there was a boy named Daddy Back. Heard he grew into a man to put his family on his back. Had a master plan to bitch he cold, nobody couldn't crack. Even though when times got difficult, he kept on slanging rap. Serving nothing but that gas, cause the walls are full of packs. And not the regular unleaded or the meal we got the back. We extraterrestrial, extraordinary, in the center of the solar system, shining on the daily.
Talk about a vitamin D overdose, and I do mean D. Oh, yeah.
Drunk
Okay, I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rerouted me, penny for my thoughts, that's that proud of me. Found my work, saved undoubtedly, I found spark. Don't be mad at me, I want new things. I found new flame, it's all in the dark, so I'm ducking like Bruce Wayne. This ain't how I do things, who got answers? I'm emotional, excuse my cancer. I make problems, life ain't handsome. You think about it, I think I'm playing myself. I told you more than you wanted, but that's the hand I was dealt. You understand who I am? I just follow my heart and really stick to the plan. No, you don't need a lot, so I just do what I can. I know that you worked a lot. I love the finer things. I like your thighs and hips, but damn, I admire jeans. I stare into your eyes. I found inside of me. Tell me you feel the same. If not, you can lie to me. I just want someone to love me like I'm gone. I'm in love with the feeling, am I wrong? I'm in love with it, I'm in love. Can't build with me, share the real with me. I've been trying to fight the feeling cause it feel empty. I'm in love with it, I'm in love with it. I'm in love with the feeling in it. I think I'm just all in my head. Girl, we grown, just jump in my bed. No, you really don't belong to me, I'm just happy with a sample. Play it back out, play it back out. I'ma treat it like a candle. Addy in the GPS, close your eyes, not your legs. Ride with me to Jupiter, know my will got plenty space. I don't need no other drugs, just you in between the sheets. Go ahead, heal the stress. Go ahead, heal the stress. Girl, I'm playing, I'm a mess. If I'm not, what you saying? Tell them other niggas, get out the way. You ain't ready, so I'm willing to wait till you finish everything on your plate. Lady, can I be on standby? Here I am like, damn. Be a friend, I know the plan, don't keep me out like Pam. I know every time you lied to me, I know everything you hide from me. I know how you think and how you feel, that'll cut it no surprise to me. Intuition never lied to me, I know heaven is a guide to me. I know everything, I know everything, I know everything, I just want someone to love me like I'm gone. I'm in love with the feeling, am I wrong? I'm in love with it, I'm in love. Can't you build with me, share the real with me. I've been trying to fight the feeling cause it feel empty. I'm in love with it, I'm in love with it. I'm in love with the feeling in it.
Beautiful and strange. It must be I found it a way. I must be sound and color with me for my mind, and the ship showed me where to go when I need to speak. Now I fall down, now I fall down, now I fall down.
1, 2, thank you. Proper modulation. Proper modulation. Proper modulation. Green. Type. Fifth tube. Green tube. Proper modulation. Proper modulation. Proper modulation. Proper modulation. Testing, testing. 1, 2, testing, testing. 1, 2, proper modulation. Proper modulation. As you will know, proper modulation is required. Is required. As you will know, proper modulation is required. Is required. Proper modulation.
I will become master of the universe. I will become master of the universe. I will become master of the universe.
My extremities pulsating with tingling sensation.
I will become master of the universe.
What's up, everybody? Hope everybody can see me and hear me okay. Let me know if everything is okay. Freezy, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, man? Congratulations on your new channel, bro.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
What do you think of the intro?
That's what I think. It fits you, man. That sound and color, I thought I was in Vietnam, man. I thought we was getting ready to gear up, dog.
Yeah, I put that countdown together myself. You know, the whole music list and all that.
Oh yeah, I liked it, man.
You did?
I liked it a lot.
Appreciate it. It's my first time doing all this myself, so you guys gotta excuse me for any hiccups or anything like that. What did y'all think? Miss AKA ladies in the chat. Let's look at people. Candid Ann is here. She says she's watching from the clouds. Lady Navoa, Inya, Von Bryant, Cody is King. Hey everyone.
Hey, all my sisters and brothers in the chat, how y'all doing?
Is the music too loud?
You can cut it down just a tad bit.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Because I don't want to have us yelling at each other. Over the background.
What you said, Madriel?
Right. Right, have us screaming at each other. I'm like, I ain't watching this no more. These two jokers screaming at each other all day. Yeah, how was your day, man? It's been all right so far?
Yeah, man. I've been I guess it's summer cleaning now since it's summer, but spring cleaning the house and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, I had a rough night, man. I didn't sleep. Yeah, so I'm gonna be sluggish today. So
how you feel, man? You know, like on your own channel, working your channel, you're live right now. You know, the intros was smooth.
Well,
how you feel, man?
I feel good because I put all that together myself.
I'm asking because I'm asking because I never went live, so you know, you beat me to it.
Yeah, it's cool, man. And you know, like when you put your own intros and stuff together, you appreciate it more because you did it and you see it.
Yeah.
You see it comes out real good. And you see other people like it and appreciate it. So it's yeah, I feel good about that. And going live, yeah, once you figure it out, there's nothing to it, really.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that. It's not going to be that complicated for you because I'm pretty sure it's the same. It's the same. What's it called? Concept when you work. When you be on BMU's channel. You know what I'm saying? It's probably the same thing, man.
Not really. See, on
It's
POV's
not?
channel. I don't have any control. I don't have to worry about any of this. Like,
Oh, that's
someone
right.
in- yeah, so
Black
in the
David is in the
background,
background.
Yeah, Black David is in the background. He's doing all this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about that. All I have to do is show up and do the show.
So this your first time actually working through the mechanics of it?
Yep.
Going live.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not everything that I want it to be, but it'll get there one step at a time. I had to at least start somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And
You're doing a great job, man.
yeah, at least that's what this live is about. Just getting started. That's why I titled it "Let's Get Started." Let's get started. You know. But thank you for joining me, man. I appreciate this. Seriously.
No. Thank you for having me, man. It's an honor. It's an honor to be here, man.
Oh,
Real
appreciate
talk.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you got a star-studded chat. You got Candid Ann, you got Von Bryant, Cody is King, Miss AKA Lady. Yeah, you got a star-studded chat, man. Oh,
Yeah.
Lady Neveau. Can't forget my sister Lady Neveau.
Can't forget her at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Freezy, a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about today. There's a few things going on. There's some things that are just important to talk about. And there's things going on in the world, like the other young lady from Birmingham, Alabama. It appears that she's lying about being kidnapped. You know, just one thing after another just doesn't add up. Black Man Unfiltered just got done with a live talking about it.
Yeah.
And so, and shout out to OGJ Speed, the ghost, in the chat. What the hell's going on?
What's going on, OG?
Yeah,
I know it's live now. We got OG over
exactly.
here.
And then my sister and I for the past couple weeks have been talking about different parts of spirituality. You know, we talked about one. The first one was like, okay, is the Holy Ghost just a ghost story? The one that we did this week, we were asking about the afterlife. Okay,
Right.
you know, is it real? Is there something to it? And we showed videos where scientists have actually been studying it. You know, they've been studying paranormal activity. They've been studying near-death experiences. They've been studying people, the brain activity when people are having experiences with like spiritual events, you know, or seeing angels, or having nightmares, or seeing demons, or whatever the case may be. So what they found out is, okay, here's the interesting part. The frontal lobe, which is where the part of the brain that governs rationality and reason, that's almost completely turned off while these events are going on.
Really?
The rest of the brain, but the rest of the brain is lit up like the 4th of July. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, it's on a 36.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's that active. On a scale of 1 to 10, the rest of your brain is kind of like on a 36. It's ridiculous, right? So
what does that mean if the frontal lobe is shut down? What's the frontal lobe?
that's the part that governs logic, reason, you know what I'm saying? And things like that. But the rest of it, creativity, basically everything else, except logic and reason, you know what I mean? That's lit up, you know what I mean? And so it's to the point where scientists are like, okay, there's something going on here. We don't know what it is, but there's something happening. You know?
So that's like physical evidence they're trying to say?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say is they're not saying that, okay, it's just a dream or it's just imagination. There's just way too much activity going on for it to just be a dream or just be in your imagination. I mean, like, it's not like too much going on would be, let's go on a scale of 1 to 10, a 10 or 11 or a 12, right? You know, off the charts. Like, but this is like way, way past that. So, what do you think of that discovery, number one?
Well, that's very enlightening. And it's very refreshing to have a carnal explanation for, you know, the activity in the brain when people are having spiritual experiences. You know what I'm saying? So this is my first time even knowing this or hearing about this. You know what I'm saying? I hope you got the source. Maybe you can put it in the chat. I don't know, but
no, we did it a couple weeks ago on Unapologetic. I don't have the source material though. I mean, but I'll just bring you up to speed on what was said and what was talked about. And we did have videos there. Man. Yeah, we did have videos of it where these scientists were talking about it, and they're showing the brain scans of what was going on.
Yeah.
Know? And so that's why we like that's why the next week we were like, let's talk about the afterlife. What do you think's going on there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's no evidence, there's no way to measure that. You know, no one's died and come back and told you what it was like. You know what I'm saying? Because then that would break, you know.
This is the thing, right? When people talk about whether they're atheists or whether they're agnostic or whether they're true believers or something like that, right? The funny thing about believing in the Most High God or believing in just spirits, right? Mm-hmm. And I know you and your sister were talking about the Holy Ghost and stuff. I think it's a realm that's really you're not going to be able to see with a microscope. You know what I'm saying? And you really do have to, it's going to be hard for a lot of people because you have to throw a lot of, not all logic, but some logic out the window. You know, I was doing some research on people doing mushrooms. I don't know if you
psychedelics. We brought that up too this past week.
Yeah. So, you know, the people that take mushrooms and stuff, they go through this phase where, like, they call it psychedelic, but many users call it a spiritual experience where their brain and their mind heightens to a point where they start seeing surreal things, and they think it's really there, but it's not. I was thinking about taking some mushrooms one time, but the stories that I heard made me scared as shit. You know what I'm saying? Because some people were saying, I guess it depends on the dosing or whatever. I'm pretty sure they're gonna start making it legal real soon. If it's not legal already, in some states.
Yeah, mushrooms is not legal, man.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so basically, people try to, I've seen videos on YouTube where people try to document their experience and they try to explain and they try to describe what they're seeing, right? But nobody sees what they're seeing but them. So that's how I'm kind of describing the spirit world in general. Mm-hmm. The only good thing about something like mushrooms or something of a influential effect that you can take physically, you can actually take something physically like that and then experience a mental experience, right? So like a mental spiritual experience. We know we can pinpoint a mushroom experience by taking mushrooms, but how can you pinpoint a godly experience? You can't take anything. The only thing you can do is read scripture or and buy into what the word of God is saying. Not even just the word of God. If you're reading the Quran or if you're reading the Book of the Dead, you really do have to buy into it. Why do people buy into it? This is the big questions that atheists ask. Why do these crazy spiritual people, these church people, buy into this bullshit? They ask this all the time, right? So then that's when I say, when people try to make a scientific project out of it and try to prove certain things that way, I really do. This is my opinion. And I understand what you're saying about the frontal lobe being shut off and the rest of the brain is heightened to like a, past 10 to 36.
What it does is like all your senses are dialed all the way up and beyond. Even the senses that we're probably not aware that we have, they're just on fire. So that's why people are able to perceive more when they're in that state.
I can imagine, right?
Yeah.
But this the thing though. I don't know how much of the Bible you've read, Mandrell, but everybody knows this scripture. It says, and I'm not finna get churchy on you. We talking logic right now. I want to try to have I'm going to try to attempt to have a logical spiritual conversation. It's going to be hard, but let's try to do it, right? So the scripture says, many are called, but only a few will be chosen.
Yeah.
The reason why the Bible says that, it's going to be very hard for a lot of people to actually buy into that the Most High God is real and what He can do is real and a lot of other things in the Bible that is said that had taken place. Right, it's going to be very hard, and I'm not discounting that. I know it's very hard for somebody to believe that a man walked on water. You know what I'm saying? Because just in reality, I don't think that's physically possible. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But it's going to be hard for people to buy into that. It's going to be hard for people to have a certain amount of faith. Right. So now we got to understand, the door that's separating atheists and believers. Why do believers believe? Right? Why do they believe? Have they experienced anything? Now we've heard about people dying and, having these experiences, going to heaven or seeing God or seeing Jesus. People have said that, Do you believe that? Do you not believe that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that I'm just trying to direct the conversation into why do atheists not believe? Why do believers believe? Okay. You understand what I'm saying? I know that what you just gave us is some good information about the brain activity, right? I never knew that. That kind of helped me out a little bit too. That helped me out a lot.
Here's the thing, Freeze. The reason why atheists don't believe is because there's
Hey, Shoo, that's sis right there. Go ahead, Granny.
She's in the chat. What's up? My little sister's in the chat. Hey. Yeah, I think she's probably at work. I wanted to get her involved in this whole thing, but she got better shit to do. That's how she treats me, Freezy.
Nah, she love you, man.
That's how she treats me. I got better stuff to do. But anyway, no, the reason why atheists don't believe is because it's a lack of evidence. And there's there's too much evidence in favor of the idea that the Bible and religion as a whole was used as a system of control to control the masses and convince people. And the best way to convince people is through indoctrination. That's why they start you off at church as a child. That's indoctrination. So, okay, and plus, let's look at the Bible itself. In all religious texts, they were all written by man. They were all interpreted by man. They were all rewritten by man. And we all know man is not to be trusted.
Okay.
Why would I believe anything that man says that's that important? Now, for me, I think that religious texts like the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, those are all guidelines. More like guidelines, more than actual rules. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. However, because you talk about something that created the entire universe and all of reality. How are you gonna? How do we understand that? You can't. You can't, especially not now. We can't explain it. We can't explain it. We can't understand it. So, and then people say, well, the Bible is written by people who was inspired by God. I'm like, okay, well, my philosophy was inspired by God too. But there's a lot of things in my philosophy that's in direct contrast to your Bible. And this is me. I was born and raised Christian. You know what I'm saying? But as you grow and you experience more, and that's what it is. I think it's a lack of life experience, lack of knowledge, and lack of being open-minded about certain things, and the unwillingness to think differently. You know what I'm saying? People like to tribe up. It's human nature to tribe up. You know what I'm saying? And find like-minded people to, you know, surround yourself with. And people have different points of views, different perceptions, different perspectives. People, for the most part, don't like to be around those people because they have a different point of view. You know what I'm saying? And especially people who can't properly articulate their thoughts and defend their point of view, they really don't like it. But it's their own weakness that prevents them from growing. You know, and I tell people, like, okay, the Bible and stuff like that, that's like kindergarten stuff. If you're looking at it in a arena of, say, academia, that's kindergarten. Okay, the rest of it you learn in life. You learn throughout the rest of the world. That's why it's called a personal relationship with God, because your experiences are going to be completely different from mine. You have the same base, you know, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, don't covet anybody's wife, blah, 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 right? But you're supposed to take those lessons that you learn in the Bible and go out in the world and exercise them to help you navigate life. You know, I mean, but people don't do that. They think it's just, you know, but everyone has their own doctrines, and then their doctrines become the gospel truth. You know what I mean? Something that
let me ask you something. Let me ask you something, Drilly. So, do you think that human beings on the earth is the only living human beings and animals on this earth? You think we're the only living organisms in the whole entire galaxy?
No, definitely not.
So why don't you believe that? Why don't you believe we're the only ones in existence that's living?
Okay, so something that, look at all the wonder and splendor here on earth. Something that fantastic. I think it'd be incredibly retarded to just stop with us, because we're not there. We're not impressive. We kill each other over nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, but also, I mean, I think honestly, it would be my honest answer. That was a joke, but my honest answer is that I think it's just incredibly arrogant to think that we're the only living things in the entire universe. To think that we're that special, we're not.
So you do believe in supernatural?
Yeah, I think there's something to it. Yeah.
So what do you consider yourself? Do you consider yourself an atheist, or do you consider yourself an agnostic?
I'm not an atheist. I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. I think that religion is the biggest brick wall in between mankind and God.
Okay.
Getting closer to God, I think religion is what's holding people back from that. So
I'm about to shoot some questions at you, right? When you walk outside and you look up in the sky, who made that? Who you think made that?
Okay, you asked me about intelligent design. Here's my thing about that. I don't know. Same as you. Same as every person on this planet, even the churchgoers. You might believe that God did it, but you don't know that He did it. You believe, and the reason why you believe it is because someone told you that. You didn't see Him create it. You didn't talk to Him after He did it. You didn't talk to Him. No, you never heard His voice tell you that He did that and how. None of us did. So there's a difference between believing something because you were convinced of it from childhood to adulthood and knowing something. Simple truth is, none of us actually know. And that's why the whole thing's based on faith. You know, every relationship is based in trust. Like even relationships between boyfriend and girlfriends. If you don't have trust, you have nothing. You have to trust one another. Just like people talk about God, you have to trust God. You know what I'm saying? You have to trust the angels if you pray to them, or whoever it is, whatever deity you pray to or you believe in. You have to have an element of trust there.
Well, we're gonna get into the Bible on why I substantiate it as the truth, but I'm just really throwing out generalized questions, things that I've thought about on why it has to be bigger than mankind, because we know common sense, right? We don't even need to go into science. Common sense tells us that man did not make the sun, man did not make the clouds and oxygen and the galaxies that's in the universe. He did not make the universe. We're not that powerful. We can do a lot of things, but we can't do that much shit. So with that being said, now guess what? This is how I legitimize the Most High. Now we can move on from man, because we know that man didn't create everything. So now we can move on from that. See, I just killed the atheist argument right there.
What?
What I just said, we can just move on from man, because see, atheists like to believe that everything can be proven, man can prove everything. That's what atheists believe. They believe that everything can be proven. It's just, some things just haven't been proven yet. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like you will be a fool to believe that, and you're gonna wait till you're dead and gone, waiting for everything that you feel like can be proven to be proved. That's a dangerous game to play. You know what I'm saying? That's not wise. So all I'm saying is, with that being said, one should know you are forced to accept what you don't know. You are forced to accept the unknown, right? You are forced to accept a lot of things that you cannot control. Now, what I will subscribe to you, if you can't control it, if I can't control it, who is controlling it? Do you believe another entity is controlling what we can't control? That's the other question, Drelly.
Again, I don't know.
Again, scary, not Drelly.
No, it's not. The thing is, here's the thing. So is he constantly controlling it manually now, or did he create something? Or like for example, planting a seed and just let it grow from there. Now it's autonomous. It's on its own. Okay, I created this, which turned, and I let my hands off of it. But what I created turned into that, turned into this, turned into that, turned into that. You know what I'm saying? And it just grew upon itself.
Oh, see, you're going into evolution now.
So I mean, here's the thing. It all works the same way. I'm just saying, and I'm not saying that that's what it is. I'm just saying we're just thinking here, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, if he does control it, is he manually moving the earth around the sun? Or did he create the earth, the sun, and all that stuff, gravity and the whole nine, all the elements that cause these things to happen? And now he's hands off, it's autonomous, it works on its own until it won't. You know what I mean? So when it comes to control, how much control are we talking about? Because, I mean, that could go either way.
So this is my concept, and it can make sense to you, or it can't. I know I see OG down there. He said he got a question for me. You gonna be inviting people up in a little bit too, Drelly?
People come up?
Huh?
You want people to come up?
If they got questions, I think it'd be good for the show, but it's up to you. It's your show. Yeah. It's ever how you want it. I know it's a test run right now, so.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about other stuff too. Like we're gonna talk about why is it so important for men to control their emotions.
What?
That's for Miss AKA Lady and what's her name? There you go, Miss Globe Girl. Miss Globe Girl's from the Navy, Freezy. So forgive her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she used to be in the Navy, so forgive her. The Navy people.
Don't do her like that.
Hey, she takes shots at me all the time, man. Shout out to Luke Casely in the chat. Shout out to the chat, period.
Shout out to the chat.
OG Speed, the ghost is showing up. Hey, Luke Casey. Hola. This is such a treat. Get started with channel, my brother. Thank you, big sister.
Okay, so Drelly, can I give you my concept?
Yeah. Go ahead.
You tell me if it makes sense. So, and everybody in the chat, y'all listen closely, all right? Because this is the first time y'all ever heard this before. So, we have a mind. We know that human beings, we have accepted that human beings have a mind, right? Can you see my mind? Can I see your mind?
I know where you're going with it, but go ahead. Yeah, we can't see your mind.
Right. Now, scientifically, we can see our brains, but we can't see our mind. Basically, our thought patterns and stuff. What we're thinking about. But we know that what we can't see in our minds can manifest in the physical. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, if anybody is familiar with Bible text like I am, the Bible correlates the mind with spirit. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
I get what you're saying. The mind, in other words, my interpretation of that is consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Scientists would call that consciousness. You know, like the brain is one thing, that's matter, that's physical, right? The mind is what's you and I interacting with one another presently. That's the mind, our consciousness, what we're aware. We're awake,
Right.
we're aware, we see, you know what I mean?
Right.
We're
Before
aware,
you
we see.
said
That's
the words
mind.
out of
Yeah.
your mouth, it was in your mind first.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go ahead and attempt to get elementary right now. Let's say I take a piece of paper and a pencil, and I have a circle in my mind. Can you see it?
No.
But if I take that circle and actually try to draw it on a piece of paper, can you see it then?
Yeah.
So the Bible says that we are gods with a little g, right? That's what the Bible is. Ye are gods. The word God, the etymology of the word God, if I'm not mistaken, means of power, right? So if we have capabilities that we can't see and make it manifest into something that we can see, we know that concept, right? Something coming from what we can't see and then manifested it into something that we can see. We know that concept is real because I just proved it with my pen, my pencil, and a piece of paper and my circle, right? That's real. So we ain't even got to debate on that, right?
Right.
So if that circle was created on a piece of paper from something you can't see, the physical circle that I created, why you think the stars, the trees, the grass, the earth, the planets, why you think that can't be created by the same damn concept, something you can't see? Well, let me finish before you get in there. Why you think a bigger mind couldn't have created the concept of our smaller minds? Do you understand what I'm saying? Why do you think our minds were the first apparatus to work that way?
I agree with you on that. I see your concept. I agree.
Is it making sense to you?
It makes sense.
Okay.
We're
going somewhere right now.
My thing is like, because I talk to people who are atheists. I talk to people who are agnostic and things like that. Then you got spiritual people like Quantum Dean of the Metaphysics. That is quite the name. Jesus. Okay. So again, I believe in God. I just don't believe in religion. I grew spiritually. I grew so much more when I left the church. It's incredible. And then here's one of my litmus tests when it comes to spiritual people, right? Or religious people. I ask them, okay, how much have you grown and how have you grown? You know, without the Bible or without, religious doctrines. So I tell people, okay, have a conversation with me about spirituality and do not mention one scripture from the book. They have almost nothing. Which tells me they have almost nothing. Because the thing is, I want you to tell me what you've learned and how you've grown with God. I don't want you to tell me what someone told you.
How can you grow with God?
Hold on. The Bible, again, that's your introduction. That's Sesame Street stuff.
It's not.
And how you grow and how you develop that relationship with God, you do that outside the church. That's the rest of the world. That's the beginning. That's your introduction. Okay, who are you with God is what I'm trying to find. Is things I try to find out. What's your personal relationship with God like? Your relationship with God, which is what's going to matter. At the end of the day, their judgment or whatever comes, that's what's going to matter. Your book is not.
It is.
It is not.
It is.
Your book is not.
Prove it.
Because you heard the script. You read the scripture. You know, in the day of judgment, people are going to come to him saying, oh, but God, I believe in you and I loved you my whole life. And God will say, hey, I never knew you. That's because you spent, some of those people spend so much time in the church, so much time in the Bible, they thumb in their nose of everybody else because they're better than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You never got to know him on your own. Your pathway to him was through a building, and that's nothing. People had church, Jesus had church outside without a building all the time. His disciples had church with him all the time, outside,
but the Bible teaches
in a building, wherever.
The Bible teaches that, though, Mandra. It teaches to go out into the world and preach the word and to use the word of God to pull people in.
Yeah,
so the Bible is important. So take a person, take a person that ain't never read the Bible, put them out in the world. How can you read the Bible? How can you bring people in when you haven't read the instruction manual?
Exactly. Now, you're leading me to my point. Today, 2,000 years later, you see how many people are divorcing the church and they're divorcing religion. They're divorcing God. There are more atheists coming time and time again, right? That's because the church never evolved with the time. You stuck in one spot. That's it. You never learn how to teach the Bible or the doctrines of the Bible in a modern day context.
I think
you
it's
never,
better.
You never learn how to relate the material to a modern day mind.
But
I think it's bigger than that, Mandra.
Let me say this real quick, OG. 2 Timothy 3:1-5 says, "For people will hold on, no. I'm gonna use this because it's referencing what today is. You cannot, Mandra. When you went to the military, I guarantee you was in the classroom sometimes and you was in the field sometimes. You had to go through a book. You had to go through something your white forefathers taught you to do in the military. So you had to follow what they said in order for you to go out and to be productive in the field. Because if they would have through, how old were you when you went to the military, Mandra?
24.
So imagine they would just gave you your rifle then and say go, and not taught you anything. You would have you wouldn't be here today.
I'd have figured it out.
I think you may, but Black Man, I think you're making this point though. I think you're making this point because the military has an evolution within itself. When he went in the military, it's not like the military there. It kept up with time, weapon, war strategies, and everything else. But I wanted to ask Freezy something very important.
Yes, sir.
Right, Luke. Shout out to Luke Cage in the chat right before you go. She says, "I see Bible as standard operating procedures book." Yes, it's the basics. It's the basics. That's elementary school. That's kindergarten.
But you can't say that to people. Mandra, you can't. Okay, let me say this real quick. I swear to God, OG, I'm gonna let you rock. Listen, Mandra, the reason that I brought that scripture a few minutes ago is because it defines what's happening today. In Timothy, it says, "And for people will love only themselves," and I want you to refer this to today. This is 2,000 years ago. People will love in the end times. People will love only themselves and money only. They will be boastful and proud, scoffing at God. Right? We know what scoffing means. Disobedient. Kids will be disobedient to their parents and ungrateful. They will consider nothing sacred anymore. They will be unloving and unforgiving. They will be slanderers to others and have no self-control. You just got through saying men got to learn how to control their emotions. These kids are out of line completely. People are scoffing at God, saying, "Man, I ain't trying to hear that God stuff." Right? People are boastful. People are about money. We talk about that all the time. Cash apps or joining the Patreon. We talk about this all the time.
But Black Man,
years ago.
Black Man, was that hard to predict though?
Which 2,000 years ago?
No. Yes, even by the times of people, was that hard to predict?
No.
And the reason why I say that is,
right.
You can put the Bible and Shakespeare right beside each other, and I guarantee you they stories correlate to each other. But I want to go a little further than that. By the Bibles and the scholars, they say the earth is only close to 7,000 years old. What are you going to say for the Dagon people? What are you going to say for the Egyptian people who had the first people who brought a one God concept into man before there was ever a book written or before there was ever a scroll ever found? And so what I'm saying is, if we only believe in the Bible, that is automatic anti-black. Because we was on this earth, the oldest black person on this earth has been 1.3 million years old, and that was Lucy. And coming from that, being the first people on this, yes, look it up. See, I was born in a church. And see, I understand the Bible. I understand the spirituality. It's a very blueprint for discipline. But when it comes down to it, it has a lot of spookism in it. And so I'm saying, before we ever came into these strange species to brung us and tablespoon us into this religion that we practice today, we got to go back to 425 until the Catholics coming together and putting this book together. We have to talk about the Greeks who put these books together and why there are so many books that have this many books versus that many books. And the original Bible was written in Greek. Now, a lot of people don't even know that. A lot of people think it was the Torah. Torah was the first 5 books of Moses. But the book Bible itself, it comes from a collection of writings. And it was written in Greek. It was only translated in Greek, and everything came from there. Who was in charge was the person who wrote scripture. Who was in charge are the ones who brought religion into existence. But when you got pyramids, way older than anything that has ever been printed in scrolls or print, and when you got the Dagon tribe, who's older than anyone that can match anybody's civilization on this planet, then you have to start explaining things like that. So my question is to Freezy. Have you ever, the question to you is, sir, have you ever made compost?
Compost?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain that for me?
A compost is like you take a collection of fruit, vegetables, grass, whatever, and it all turns back to dirt after the sun and the water hit it at the right temperature and the right pressure. Where it become farm. Well, I'm a person who's been raised up to farm, and I still do it in California.
Right.
Now, no one has to create that. It's a natural order of things. And I think that's what we don't get twisted. Natural order of things versus what is God. My definition of God is energy. It's no one thing. That means everything on this planet, in this universe, and outside this universe is alive. It's no one force. These stories are good, great. They're good stories. But nobody have ever went back and found anybody's spiritual grave. Now, why is that? And when you can go in the pyramid and find people who y'all call pagans, but you can find their bodies well preserved, but you can't find any spiritual person grave site in that book.
So can I want to respond to everything you said. I'm talking about from the beginning.
Yes, sir.
So when we talk about the Bible, right? Let's start from the beginning. A lot of people, and this is with all due respect, I'm pretty sure, OG, I know that you're very educated. I know you're very educated on history. I've heard you on plenty of panels. I know you strapped for information. But when we talk about the Bible, not you in particular, but I know coming into these conversations, when people say the Bible is like an elementary book or something, it's like, I know right then and there, many people are not versed and are not scholarly when it comes to the Bible, right? And then when we talk about the Bible, right, and we talk about the history of the Bible, you're absolutely correct. The Bible was derived from Greek text, the Septuagint, right? But before the Septuagint was ancient Hebrew scrolls, right? This is the timeline of the Bible. Now, the biggest misconception is that all of the Caesars were white. The biggest misconception is is that King James himself was white. And then you're absolutely right. There were scholars that actually put together the Bible, right? But if we go back in history, it's documented that those scholars were of dark complexion Moors, which was the most educated people in the land at that time, right? So when people say, why y'all read that damn book was written by the white man? I know right then and there, they not qualified to have these conversations, right? Now, what is true is that the way it was taught to us in slavery, right? Because we know the white man put his own spin on it, you know what I'm saying? In order to subjugate us.
They got the white Bible in the Smithsonian right now.
Right. In order to subjugate us and make us obey, you know, their commands and stuff like that. Right? We know that happened. But sadly, it made black people feel like the white man wrote that book, and that's just not true. That's just not true. Right?
Yeah, but I need for you to answer that first question though, before you get to the writing of the book. How do you exclude a group of people who's been here for 1,000,000 years and start life where the Romans have to even change time to make it fit into the equation of God?
And what was the proof of these people though?
We, black people. I can go back into the black people was here. So how do you exclude a whole race of people? And I understand what you just said, Freezy, but we're talking about time frame now.
Right.
We're talking about time frame. And so I believe that book came into play to as far as the rise of one nation over another nation versus the creation of man. Because that book itself says that Adam and Eve was in the garden and had 2 sons.
Right.
And one slayed the other and was kicked out of the garden, who took on a wife. Right. If you got 2 people who is the creation of mankind from the rib of a man, how could that son go outside of that and take on a wife didn't come from the original 2 people?
Well, let's get into it, right? So this is actually an excellent conversation because it's going to educate a lot of people that's listening when it's dealing with the Bible. And what you just explained to me is classic Christian doctrine, classic Catholicism. That's what you just explained to me. That Adam and Eve, it started with Adam and Eve. That's not the Bible. That's not Genesis 1. It's not. There were people here before Adam and Eve.
Thank you. So you are making my point. I'm telling you, you about to go into the danger of making my point, bro.
No, what I'm saying is I hope I'm making your point because you're proving the Bible right.
No, I'm proving that there was people on this earth who God didn't even have conversation to. That God didn't have a conversation to.
Listen what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
What you're saying is exactly what the Bible said. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're proving the Bible right.
No, I'm not. I'm proving that Bible is a Johnny come home lately. It's not dealing with the people. It's absent of us. If you take us out of the equation, then everything you say in the Bible would be completely believable. But when you keep us on this earth, almost 2 and 3 and 400,000 years before that thing ever came into existence, I would like for either one of y'all brothers to go into Egypt, go into southern Egypt and walk inside of them pyramids and feel the spirituality that you really feel.
OG, so are you saying that you're saying that the existence was way before the Bible was created?
Yes. Okay,
so
most certainly. The Bible, that's the timeline of the Bible. That's why they had the Romans did change the timeline because they had to fit this in their equation. But when we start getting better with technology, as far as scientist wise, and going back and getting I can't think of the term now, but it will come to me in this, and by the time I finish this statement. So, when they start doing DNA and then they got in carbon testing, and when they start to discover that there were people here look like me and you, well, our melanated skin, that was way pretext of any Bible or any book that was ever. See, we written ours in stone, bro. And see, this is what we got to get to a concept. We wrote ours in stone. They wrote theirs on paper at that time. We would call it something else. But
let me intervene for 1 second.
Yes, sir.
This is why I wish you was hope. I mean, I wish that everybody in the chat and everybody on the panel was listening to me when I first started my opening soliloquy about the Bible and the history of the Bible. We know that the Bible is not the first text that explains God's word. The Greek Septuagint comes before that, and then before that is the ancient Hebrew scrolls, which at earliest was written on stone. So listen to what I'm saying.
Before these people come into existence, this is what we got to deal with this first. Before we can move to the second grade, we got to stay in the first grade, bro. We got to stay in preschool. Before all these people ever existed, we was here hundreds of thousands of years, and we have no concept of what's in that book versus our story. See, this is the main problem I turn against the Bible, is because it denies us of our story. So when you start talking about Greeks, and when you start talking about Jewish, when you start talking about Roman, these are Johnny come home late 500,000 years later.
It's not true, bro.
So let me ask a question real quick then.
Hold on, Black man.
Go ahead.
Let me curb him a little bit. It's not true. Because
have you been in Pyramid, bro?
Listen to what I'm saying. What you're doing right now is you're discounting passing down of information. See, mankind, y'all can accept evolution when it comes to natural order of things, but y'all can't accept evolution of information though. For some reason, I don't know why. That's kind of strange, but I did want to say this. What you just said about our people wrote their things down on rock and stone, that's biblical.
But it's different from the story in that book, bro. That's the problem.
What story are you talking about?
Oh, bro, it's different.
It seems like you're going into Kemet. That's what it seems like.
I'm straight. I'm dead right in it. Before I got to Kemet, I went to the Dagon. See, everybody think Kemet was the first great civilization, and I'm telling you, the Dagon had mapped out the space before there was ever a microscope, before there was ever a telescope, before there was anything so true to what it is that scientists didn't even find that last planet till about 15 years ago, and they had already mapped it out. So why should I believe anything in a book when I know that there was people before them? The stories don't correlate.
There were people before the Greeks. You're absolutely, before the Greeks put together the Septuagint. You're absolutely right. But we also must understand that all the Greeks wasn't white. All the Romans wasn't white.
Never say. See, y'all get the color mixed up. I'm talking about the people. Let's talk about the race. Let's talk about the race of people, and then we can get to it. Okay, go ahead.
Let me finish. So let's talk about the Dagon and Kemet. Let's talk about that too, because I'm not just one dimensional.
I know you're not, bro.
So we know that Egypt was a superpower at one time, which it wasn't called Egypt at the time. Egypt is just a root word for bondage. We know the etymology of Egypt. That wasn't even the name of the land at that time. I think it was called Mizraim or something like that. But in that location, the same way America is a superpower now, that's what Mizraim was at the time. Then they had slaves for hundreds of years and everything, right? And that's how they built up their infrastructure. This is how white people learned to build their infrastructure through slavery. We was the first, black people of dark descent was the first people to do that. So what I'm saying is this, all of the technology, all of the things that you're talking about, right? History repeats itself. It's no different from all of the patents and stuff that was stolen in America from black slaves. At that time, when I'm just say Kemet. At that time, it's documented that the slaves that they had put together a lot of those technologies, built those pyramids. This is documented. And guess what? Guess who was the slaves? It was so-called Israelites. The Egyptians had the Israelites in slavery for 400 years. That's a fact. And you can find that on the hieroglyphs. In the pyramid, you can find it. You can find those descriptions on the hieroglyphs.
That has been disputed, bro.
Hold on, wait. Now you tell me this.
That's been disputed, though. We have to start out where you went at. Wait a minute. We have to start out where you started.
Go ahead. All right.
That's been disputed for the last 20 years. And see, that's the major problem with that story. See, that story comes from a story from a group of people who we see even today, who wherever they went at, they have corrupted everything. Matter of fact, I'm doing a video on who are the most evil people on this planet. There's only really 3 types of human beings. There's black, white, and Asian. Everything else falls in between all them groups. There's only 3 groups of humans on this planet. And so when you go to understand that you just said things repeat itself, they came into Egypt and they were so corrupted that when they left and they was pushed out. See, y'all have the story of the Red Sea. Y'all have the story of let my people go. But they keep people in Kemet wasn't trying to hold them in. They kicked their ass out because they was bringing the same barbaric stuff that we see today in front of us today, where they don't know what a man or a woman is. Having sex with animals. All this stuff is not new. And so we was a high mind and a high power people who welcome everybody in. So that story of enslaving the Jewish or the people of God's chosen into slavery, it just make their book reading better. But there's no evidence. And scholars have been going back for the last 75, 80 years. And I'm talking about Jewish scholars, not just black scholars. Because a lot of people think a lot of this stuff I speak comes from black scholars. It comes from well-known scholars who just happen to be black or white or Jewish. And so a lot of this stuff that we think is historically in biblical books don't have any evidence historically.
So have you been to Egypt?
Yes, sir. I took a tour in 1992 and then another tour with the Nation of Islam in 1994 to Ghana that I crossed over. See, there's people who take people to Egypt all the time. And when you start going into southern Egypt, where they don't like most people to go at, you start getting into something that is so spiritual, bro. When you walk in there, it's like the hairs on your body. If you have any hairs on your body, you can feel them just tingling. And so what I'm trying to tell you is that we've been so misled into this story that we're not even free thinkers, because all our evidence come from the biblical text. And I think that's what Mandrell was saying at the beginning. When you go outside of that biblical text, you're going to have a hard time finding any evidence to sustain anything in that book. Now, when you start talking about we can actually see things, look, man, I can predict a knucklehead who's a knucklehead in my community that he's going to end up in jail or either end up in the damn graveyard. That's not hard to predict. When you see the actions of people Because people have been doing the same thing since we've been on this earth. And they have tried rat experiments and all types of experiments, and it shows you behavior. Only thing changes is technology, but the behavior stays the same. And see, me as a Muslim, and you say, well, how can you be a Muslim, J Speed, if you don't believe in Scripture? I believe in Islam for the discipline, not for the spirituality belief. I like the discipline.
So okay, so OG, I heard everything you said, and I respect everything you said. So, if Mandrell can share my screen, can you share my screen, Mandrell? So, if you've been to Egypt, right? These are hieroglyphs. Did you see this before?
Yeah, I've seen this before. Did classes on it.
Okay, so what?
How can you tell if these people are slaves or these people are workers? How do you differentiate what they are? If you look at the people, they are dark. You see what I'm saying? Okay, well, go ahead. I don't know where you're coming from with this, so go ahead.
Well, the people are dark, and I believe that the slaves in Israel in Egypt were dark people. I believe that the Egyptians were dark people. Right? I don't believe all dark-skinned people are the same. Quite the contrary. So right here, the reason why we know these people that's working, these servants right here, they're slaves, because it's written in on stone. It's written on hieroglyphs. It's written. The language is written there.
No, it's not. And I can pull up right now a scholar who will tell you that is not what you know. Whatever writing you think you're talking about, because hieroglyphics is writing, not pictures. Pictures is it's an expression, but the hieroglyphic is language. It's written. These pictures you looking at are illustrations. So when you get into the understanding the netta, my brother, you will see where there's something totally different goes on in these stories.
Right, but what I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. Did the Egyptians wear fringes?
Again,
I'm asking you.
I don't know exactly.
Is it the custom of Egyptians to wear fringes?
It was because you got different layers of Egyptian, bro. Just like you would have that hierarchy of the Egyptian wore one thing. Well, you have the common people.
You would know if it was the custom of Egyptians if they wore fringes, because the pharaohs would have worn fringes.
No, the pharaoh would not wear the same thing as a common man or common woman no more. The president would wear what the common person would wear every day.
What I'm saying is that I can't, I'm not going to get into showing all of the depictions on the wall right here, but some of these people had fringes on, and we know it's an Israelite custom for these people for Israelites to wear fringes as well. All of the indication is there. You understand what I'm saying? All of the indication is there, but for some reason we just want to discount what the Bible says. I don't know why. Egyptians want to discount Israelites even being a part of their history when they know that's a lie. They was a part of Egyptian history.
Okay, hold on. Are you done with this freezing?
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Go ahead. My bad.
I just wanted to show that.
No problem.
And I'm just saying, OG making great points. I'm just trying to show him that. I'm trying to subscribe to him that, hey, listen, I don't think it's wise to discount slavery in Kemet. And who was the slaves in Kemet? Who was subjugated to build a lot of those infrastructure in Kemet? That's all I'm saying.
Right. No problem. I mean, you all make good points. And this is a conversation that can go deeper, because you guys are really getting into history and the origins of it all. Mm-hmm. Like both of you all, you know what I mean? And it's a formidable conversation. I'll say that.
I would love to do part 2 where me And I would love for Freezy to come up and bring his actual facts, and I come up and bring my actual facts. We got a brother in Egypt now who's been commissioned to dig tombs, and he's one of the 4 leading scholars when it comes down to Kemet. Reason why you can tell Kemet in 2 different ways of life. When you see camels, that's when the invasion of the Caucasians. When you see Kemet with elephants, that's when we rule.
So OG, Mandre, I know you want to push forward, but I got one more question for OG.
Yes, sir.
So you believe in Horus and Seth and all those good people? You believe in those people?
Horus is who y'all calling Jesus Christ, bro.
Okay, but well, before we get into that, I'm just asking you, do you believe that?
I believe in all of that, but you got to understand, I don't believe it as being a God. It's a story. Even the Kemet says that all this is stories.
So now, when we do meet again, right? I'm
Yes,
going
sir.
to bring you evidence that the notion that Horus and is directly what Jesus, the story of Jesus was taken from Horus and all that good stuff that a lot of Kemet people try to pass on to people like me. That those stories people started connecting Jesus and Horus later on, probably in the 1600s. I'm telling you, the original stories of Horus, Seth, and I forgot what Horus's wife, but the original stories had nothing to do with in correlation of Jesus Christ. Nothing. And I'm gonna bring that to you too.
Okay. And why you doing that? Why you doing that?
I want to say this too.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you another thing. I refuse to even acknowledge somebody like Horus, because Horus used to copulate in his son's buttocks. That was a tradition of his.
Yeah, but you go to King James, who hated women so badly, he killed his own mother.
Yeah, he was a flaming homosexual.
Yeah, so what is the degree are we going with this then? Because I should show you it just recycle itself over and over.
But the thing about it is,
but that's the Bible that y'all read. It's his interpretation. Most people, do most black people read the King James version, bro? Let's be honest.
Yes, but this is the reason why this is a great conversation. We do need to have a part 2, because I'm going to debunk that King James was even a white man and that he was a homosexual. I'm going to prove to you.
I'm going to watch that, Freezy.
And I'm gonna watch you. I'm gonna watch you get yourself. Hey, I'm gonna watch you get yourself in that box, and I'm gonna help you out, brother. I'm not gonna be like a crab in the barrel. I'm gonna help you out. Okay?
All right.
I'm gonna help you out. I'm real diverse in this subject.
Hey, y'all heard it first. Freezy going to prove to y'all that lie that King James was a homosexual that we've been taught all these years. That was a lie.
And you might as well bring RuPaul in there too and say he ain't a homosexual, because I'm approved.
I love OG,
But you know what? I love these kind of conversations. We ain't screaming, we ain't hollering at each other. We just putting the information out there and we testing each other. And so this is what this is supposed to be all about. You know what I mean? You got to understand, I shouted, I got baptized, I spoke in tongues, I did all that stuff. But then looking back at all that stuff, I'm saying I was doing what other people was doing. I didn't feel no spirit. If somebody would have offered me a bag of non-laters, I'd have came out of all that shit and took the candy and ran.
OG, you know why I love conversations like this? Drelly already know, man. Drill already know. It shows my depth. Because a lot of times when I come on panels and stuff, people think that, I'm so shallow. They feel like I'm from the hood and the way he talk and he don't know. You can't judge a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying, OG?
Yes, sir. You get a lot better respect than I do, bro. I'm telling you. I've been having my ass. If you go back, I've had my ass whooped by a little short man who ain't got 3 teeth in his mouth. No respect me. So you get a lot more.
All right, listen,
You get a lot more respect than I get.
We gotta move it on to the next subject.
Can I ask you a question?
Okay. Black man, go ahead and ask your question. After that, we're gonna move on to the next topic.
That's fine. I appreciate it. OG. So
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of the conversation between you guys. I didn't want to interrupt you guys while y'all were going back and forth. I want to respect the fact that you guys were having a dialogue.
Yes.
So, but when that conversation needs to happen, because I think that it will be enlightening for a lot of people. Now, I know a lot of people who want to have that conversation, but like you just said, you made a valid point. People are not screaming and hollering, so you got to have the right people to have that conversation. I definitely would love to have that conversation with you.
Yes, sir.
As well as Freezy. I know that Lost in Translation is a biblical, phenon. He knows that thing back and forward, up and down. And I know that he would love to be a part of that. So we need to join together and make that happen.
Can I get another person who I highly respect? I know he's not respected by some of the things, his behavior in the community, but I haven't found anyone in that age bracket, his age bracket, who know more than him when it comes to Darth Vader. Okay, but I think, and I have his personal number, I hope he's not going through any more trauma that he calls on himself. But I think there's no one in our age bracket there's more up to where we at than Brother Polite. I have never seen anyone come close to him, because he goes back into the original text. He shows you on screen what these words mean. A lot of the things that we are interpreting in the Bible, we thinking it mean one thing, and it means something totally different. So I would love to try to invite Dr. Polite too.
You talking about though he's going through what he's going through right now. His word is still believable. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we'll say the same thing
listen, Polite done been tore apart by some Israelite brothers I know.
No, I have never seen him lost a battle, bro. Not even close.
Fair enough. We'll get to Brother Polite. We'll get to Brother Polite and all that in a minute. Listen, I'm gonna
That's
bring
big
up Lost
though.
in
You get Polite though.
Yeah, it is. It's big.
Yeah, I have his number. I could call him like I call Mandrell at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Now, Freezy,
Goddamn OG.
If y'all would like to, and Mandrell included, if y'all want to, I think God that StreamYard has it where we can all share each other's content at the same time.
Yeah, you can do a duel. Yeah, they have it now.
I would love to have you. I would love to build this conversation and have it.
Right.
Yeah,
and when does it start, people? Right here.
So can we? So I definitely. How y'all? OG and Freezer, how your Tuesdays looking?
Tuesday, I'm good, man.
What about you, Lost in terms? Oh, I know Lost good. What about you, OG?
Ready, man.
Let me see. Monday, I got to meet with the mayor of Los Angeles. Tuesday.
Start showing out, OG. God.
No, I it was a good thing that because
he come out Monday, Los Angeles.
No. I'm trying to figure out what would happen from Monday to Tuesday, because this meeting is supposed to be an ongoing meeting for homeless, and so. Yeah, I just keep it open. If I'm gonna look at my little book, it ain't number one page. It's a piece of paper that somebody gave me, and I'm gonna look at it and then see that I got anything to do on Tuesday. But I'll let you know. I'll call you personally and let you know.
Absolutely, Tuesday 8:30 Central, and we'll just make that show about that.
Okay.
This coming Tuesday?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Lost in Translation, because we're about to change subjects. I'll take you when you come up and say something about the Bible and all that. She grew up in Alabama, same as I did. Oh, here we go. Oh, I'm gonna give Reverend.
He still got his shouting shoes on. Go ahead.
He got his shouting shoes on.
I've been waiting on this conversation.
I know you have, but you never join it when I have it.
Well, that's because I'm kind of busy over here.
Right, you don't like me, and that's fine.
No, I ain't got nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
Man, don't start this shit.
I'm just kidding. Hey, listen, it's my platform now. I can cuss y'all out if I want to.
Yes, you can.
I'll come out there and slap the shit out of you.
No, you will not. Anyway, but I'm not gonna do that. Not that kind of conversation. Also, translation. what did you have on the topic? If you'd like, I'd like you to stay. I'd like to get a woman on the panel.
I've been watching
Miss
y'all for the
Globe
last.
Which
I've
one?
been watching y'all for the
up,
last
Quantum?
hour or two. I've been at work, man. I'm like, why y'all started
You
without
ain't got
me,
a
man?
job.
Come on,
You don't have a job.
I got a job. I got a job.
Okay.
It pays the bills, man. It pay for this wonderful microphone that y'all be listening to, man. You know what I'm saying? But
The chat was on y'all microphones too, man. They say
OGJC,
they said OG microphone. You can hear him from Mount Sinai.
And I cut it down.
Right.
you turn that gain down, brother.
Goddamn.
Right. Okay. So what you have on this topic or the next topic?
Here's my thing, man.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to pull from what they know. The thing about it is everybody knows a little something different. You know what I mean? And like everybody likes to give Egypt credit for this, that, and the other, and all this other stuff. But Egypt, all they did was just move in, bro. That was there before they got there. You know what I'm saying? And we're arguing, you know, who wrote the Bible and this, that, and the other. But nobody ever said, hey, is it a good idea to use it as a guide? And what we do is we spend a lot of time trying to discredit the Bible instead of just living our life and doing what's right. The Bible is not going to come alive to you until you actually live life in these streets. You know what I'm saying? And then you can come back and reference and go, oh, yep, it is right there. It says so right there. But if you always spending your time trying to refutate it, then you're missing out on the thing that it wants you to do, which is live your life. You see what I'm saying? That's just a reference. You know, it's not for you to use it as a badge of honor and walk around with like, this is my Bible. There are many like it, but this one is mine. You know what I'm saying? Like Full Metal Jacket. You know what I mean?
Go ahead on there.
but my thing is this, man. It's all about how you treat your brother, man. That's it. You know what I mean? That's all it comes down to. And if we get used to doing that, then we're doing what we're supposed to do. Instead of arguing about who wrote it and who translated it. You know, we spending too much time. But my thing is, how do you talk to your brother? You know, how does your brother talk to you? How do you treat each other? You know, that's what's most important.
I don't disagree with that, and that's why I did say it. I think you might have missed it. I said it's a good guide. Same as you can read some of the Shakespeare stuff would be a good guide. Right. So any book, believe it or not, I have not read one that didn't have something in it that you can apply to your life.
Correct. But the Bible is the thing that we all try to use to agree on. And then
you try to find common. Yeah, here's the thing. You try to find common ground on the Bible, right. But here's the problem with that is you're always going to find common ground somewhere in the Bible. You're always going to find something to disagree with about in the Bible. What the idea was that you take that portion of it, meaning the Bible or the Quran or the Torah, whichever book text you read or go by, okay? Again, that's base. If we were to compare it to academia, that's base level stuff. That's kindergarten. That's learning your ABCs. Learning and mastering the Bible is equivalent to learning your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s. You're supposed to go out in the rest of the world and learn fucking algebra and calculus and everything else. Using that as your base. You're not supposed to use it as a constant reference. What have you learned? How can I relate to you? How can I relate to you in real life? If I'm a non-believer, if all you do is go to a book that I don't believe in, how do you take that material and make it relevant to me and relevant to the rest of the world? Jesus didn't go by a Bible. Hold on. Jesus didn't preach from the Bible.
He did because the Bible was written.
He made the message relevant to the people he was talking to.
Right. And man, that's what I was saying though. Everything in Lost in Translation, you can back me up on this one. That's why when you say, black man, why you always go back to the scriptures? Because some of those scriptures relate to what you're saying right now. The Bible says, Paul says, I became all things that I may save some. I ain't got to be in the church to do nothing. Man, you might like to drink and say, hey man, come have a drink with me. I'll go in the bar and sit down with you and have a drink with you, have a conversation with you. That's real life. I became what I need to become to sit down and have the connection with you, right? You have to be willing to do things that you're not believing in what we believe in, God and Jesus or whatever. You have to be, if you're comfortable doing it, then you're not doing it right. You have to be uncomfortable to live this kind of lifestyle. You're going to be uncomfortable.
Right.
I got a question. Wait a minute, man. Can I ask a question for the Lost in Translation, Freezy, and Black Man Unfiltered?
Yeah.
What would y'all have to say to in Genesis when it says, "Whoa, man has become one of us"?
That's easy, man. Basically, what they're referring to is that man are now creators as well. You know what I mean? God creates, and guess what? We create too. You know what I mean? So that's all that is. That's basically what it is. He's made in our image, basically.
What do you say?
Our image is that we're creators, and men are creators too.
What you say, Freezy?
Well, no,
because that happened after the event. Now you got to keep it in context. That happened after the event, and he took away something, so man could not be as powerful as him, having everlasting life. So, what do you say to that?
Well, this is the thing. So, like I was saying, like the conversation me and you was having prior, Adam and Eve was not the first people on earth. There were people before Adam and Eve. But what made Adam significant was he was the first person that had the breath of life into him, given it to him, right? So now the breath of life can be interpreted. Different people have interpreted the breath of life different ways, but I know what my truth is, what the breath of life is, right? But I'm not gonna get into that. So basically, they became like gods to where they could make decisions on their own, right? They can make decisions on their own and create things on their own, which was not the original plan that God had for man. God had it all set up for us. It was all laid out, set up for us. All we had to do was do what he told us to do. But we wanted to be like him so damn bad, like Lost in Translation just said. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to be like him so bad. We defied his instructions. Well, the woman did first, and then Adam's simp ass followed behind her, and here we are today. The reason why we have so much turmoil today is because we leaning into our own understanding. We're making our own decisions, and that's not the plan that God had for us from the start.
Okay, so what you say, Black Man?
Well, I agree with what Lost in Translation said and Freezy. I believe that he was speaking in terms of we are being able to do what he does, right? He was able to create Adam, and then from Adam, Eve, right? Adam was created, Eve was made, and so from him. So I believe that when he said that, hey, us meaning, hey, listen, I've given you the ability to create life, just like I have created life as well. And I think that what Freezy said is absolutely on point. I think I got everything set up for you. It's just like being a parent now. You got everything set up for your kid. You know what you want them to do. You know where you want them to go. And then they decide to go another place, mess up everything that you've had prepared for them. And now it's chaos. And that's how you get, the boys and you get in, Cain and Abel, going against themselves and Cain knocking his brother off. Right? The same thing. Everybody wanted that power. Everybody wanted to be like God.
Okay, by true understanding, I'm going to leave y'all with this. From what y'all just said, number one, God had two children that was hard-headed, and if he can keep his children in line, how in the hell we can keep ours in line? That's number one. Number two, God had to make the first transsexual. Because it came from a man. Didn't come from dirt like man. He took part of man's rib and made one man. So he made the first transsexual.
Right.
So this is where these things start to make me, my hair itch when I start listening to stories like that. Because when you put it into plain language, God had to make the first transsexual. Because he made man. Well, but we didn't call it transsexual at that time. We call it one man. Think what a transsexual is: woman and man. A person who wants to be a ward.
Listen, now wants to be one, not created one.
Oh, okay, but listen. What I'm just saying. Listen, what I'm just saying is, He made man from dirt, right? Dust.
Yeah.
And then when he got ready to make woman, he took part of man and made it one man. You understand? So when y'all get these women acting like a little man in them, well, why couldn't they not have a little man in them? Hell, they made from man.
Well, let's go with the etymology of woman. What does woman mean?
Oh,
yeah, how you fucked up, won't he?
Let me roll with this one.
This is
I don't know.
This is why OG J Speed would call me on the phone, or I'll call him. We're on the phone 3 hours. I kid you not, every time. OG would call me 2 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock when we get off. And he's just like listen, he'll have you freeze.
I like OG. Man.
Twisted, man. Listen,
Mandrell, let me handle this one.
Okay, we're gonna go to final thoughts on this topic because I do want to move on to another one.
Yeah,
Okay.
Let me address what OG just said.
Okay, go ahead.
OG, here's the thing.
Take the dress off for hers.
Dress.
Off the conversation, not you, brother.
Listen, check this out. In every single human, they have the possibility to be a female. I offer you this. Eve was always there. God just separated her from Adam. He didn't make a transsexual. He just reached inside of Adam, pulled Eve out, and fashioned her in such a way that she would complement him. That's all that is. She's always been there. If you do any type of scientific study, you'll find out that a zygote or an embryo has the possibility of being a male or a female based upon the amount of testosterone that's there in the female. And then that switch clicks, and then all of a sudden you could be a male or a female. That's the reason why men still have nipples. You see what I'm saying? The possibility is still there genetically, because you can actually,
I don't have no nipples. I have pecs, bro. Go ahead.
nipples, whatever you want to call it, bosoms, the bosom of Abraham. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is this: she was always there. All God was just separated. That's it.
And just to live it back off what Lost in Translation said in Genesis 1:27, it reads, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. This was before Adam.
Who said this?
In Genesis.
This was part of Genesis.
This was in Genesis, first book of Genesis.
Okay, cool.
That was before he separated Adam.
Gotcha. Cool. I want to introduce another guest, and I really do want to move away from this. So,
what you got next? What you got next?
Tommy B.
What you got next?
Why?
You don't care that this your panel, Drilly? I'm just bullshitting. I'm just playing.
Okay. I want to talk next. We're going to talk about why is it so important for men to learn to control their emotions. Okay, we've heard this topic before. First of all, where are my manners? Shout out to my new guest, Jay Takashi. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the support. Shout out to the lovely chat. Again, Quantum. Thank you for coming. Wally, thanks for showing up, man. Thanks for and the world class. That's another person I'd like to
Drill, how many people you got watching right now?
12.
Oh, my dog is there, man.
Tommy B, what's going on? Some people are still here that are shocking me, like Miss Globe Girl. I thought she was gonna come here and troll me and leave. But
well, at the end of my show, I told everybody to get their ass over here. So yeah, so I said, hey, Mandrella's going live right now. I need y'all to get this this link, and I put the link in the chat and get on over here. And so I seen a few people that was watching came their ass over here, so I'm proud of that.
I appreciate it. Gonna have this shit lit, dog. Tommy B is here. NA. She's here. Quantum Dean of the Metaphysics. Thank y'all. Appreciate it. This is my first live stream. Like I said, it's a test. It's not what it's going to be, but I think I'm off to a decent start. As opposed to waiting around and waiting for everything to be perfect. Might as well start somewhere. Now, Jay Takashi, the next topic is why is it so important for men to learn to control their emotions?
Well, define it first, Mandrell. What are you? Because you're the host of the show, so this is your topic. So, so you define what it is for a man to. What does it look like for a man to control his emotions? Then we'll feed off what you say.
Okay. And then I'm going to start with Jay Takashi because he just got here. So, what that means is, okay, because you guys know I read Buddhist philosophy, right? And I read a lot of philosophy.
So you believe in Buddha, Dre?
Buddha's not a god.
Oh,
Never
okay.
was. Never claimed to be. He was just a philosopher.
We ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole.
Right. Yeah. So in it, he says there are 2 times where you should never speak. First one is when you're angry. It's because your vision is clouded, your thoughts are clouded, and you're liable to say some things that you shouldn't or don't actually mean. The other time that you should never speak is when someone else is angry with you. Because that means because their mind is clouded and they're not thinking clearly. And anything you say to them is going to be wrong. Right?
Who said this?
That's in Buddhist philosophy. Yes, Buddha said that.
Buddhist philosophy.
Buddha said that. Yeah.
Buddha's. So wait a minute. Hold on, just a second, man. I want you to help me with something.
Mm-hmm.
So Buddha said that, but if I said, the Bible says, "Be angry, but sin not." Isn't that the same thing?
No. One is telling you not to sin. The other one's telling you don't speak. Just be quiet.
Yes,
let it ride
there's
out.
a difference.
So, but I agree with the Bible when it says that. Be angry, yeah, but don't sin. I agree with that too. So, I came across this because I was looking at ways to. I've been studying and practicing ways to control my emotions. You know what I'm saying? And control my behavior while I'm feeling whatever emotion. So, it's a daily practice, and it takes time to master, just like everyone else. And you're always gonna have a slip up. But anyway, we saw the video where the guy punched the woman in a face in a restaurant. He paid for it with his life, of course. But that was like a picture perfect example of like, bro, you have to control your emotions. You have to get a hold of that. You know what I'm saying? And make it.
But when you see that as been a deterrent too?
What's a deterrent?
Not to go and slap somebody. I don't know if you're talking about the same one I seen. The woman walks up and slaps him, and he knocks her into next week.
No, I ain't talking about that one.
Okay. So, but you know which one I'm talking about, right?
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you see examples of that, and you see you hear stories about when men get angry at their wives or their girlfriends, they beat on them and stuff like that, and it's just and then you see people on panels like this, and then they get into screaming matches because they're in their feelings, and so they can't contain themselves. And it's like, holy shit, dude! Like, we gotta get this shit together. This ain't gonna work.
Really?
Huh?
Are you done? Are you done with your opening statement about that, or?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so like I said, controlling your emotions. Say someone's pissed off at you, or you're pissed off at them. Practice not raising your voice when you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Practice not saying anything hurtful if you don't have to. Things like that. What I mean, controlling your emotions, controlling your behavior regardless of how you're feeling. You could be fired up angry, but don't project that. Why is it so important to control your behavior regardless of your emotions?
Well,
I want to start with Jay Takashi, if you don't mind.
Okay,
please.
go ahead.
Jay Takashi, thank you for coming. Welcome to the show. My first ever live stream. Jay?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Let me know if you hear any like noise. Just let me know. Okay.
Okay.
First of all, congratulations for the stream, brother. I wanted to be here for this. I'm working right now.
All right, no problem. You're breaking up real bad.
You got a little Star Wars going on there. Yeah, get closer.
Mandro, go to the next person real quick.
Okay, hey, can I say this while Jay Takashi getting ready? Mandra, I want to say that this is from me to you, and I know everybody else feels the same way. I just want to say it out loud, man. I'm proud of you.
Right.
I consider you a big brother. Like, all jokes aside, man, I consider you a big brother, a friend, somebody I can call, talk to. I've been in some bad situations at times, and you were there for me, as well as I for you, and so many others on this panel that I'm getting to know and sharing that with them as well. So I just want you to know where you started at. When you came onto the scene, nobody wanted to give Mandrell a chance. Nobody wanted to give Mandrell a voice. Mandrell came in red pill raging. Let's just say what it is. And he came in, your mama this, fuck you whole bitch slut. I mean, he was just all over it. I mean, he was like that. And everybody was like, leave him alone. I remember one time he was having a conversation on Security Boss, and Security Boss clutched her pearls. She was like, I don't even know who is this person. And so, but one day I just wanted to reach out to him and be like, hey bro, hey listen, just come over and just get on the show with me for a minute or two. And he said, you sure you want that? Because don't nobody like me. I said, no, you good, bro. I said, just come on over.
Sound like him too.
Oh yeah, in the first 4 or 5 shows, I said, Lord help us get through this. Because every time somebody said something, it was, what the fuck you say? Get them. I said, oh my God, just help us. So I just want to tell you, man, that I'm proud of you. I see your growth. I see where you were and where you are. And that's a true definition of a man who recognizes his flaws and a man who grows from them and learns from them. So from me to you, man, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of the big picture. I'm proud of what you have going on, helping people with their health and so on and so forth. And man, I just want you to know, man, that, hey, I'm here to support you, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I wanted to add to what you said.
I ain't got time.
I wanted to add to what you said, Drilly. So there is a scripture in the Bible that says, he that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls, right? So when you got people, but we're talking about men in particular right now, when you got men in particular that have no rule over their own spirit, that means that it's an indication they can't govern themselves. When you see a city without walls, it's very hard to maintain a government in that city. Okay, you can be invaded at any time, you can be influenced at any time, right? So, and I attest a lot of these problems that we're talking about right now to single motherhood. Now, a lot of women in the chat, some women that's listening, that's ghost watching right now, would disagree with what I'm saying, and they probably would say is that old manosphere talk. But I want to say this: I'm subscribing to the men, especially in the Black community. It's going to be on us, man. I'm telling you, like, we done had plenty conversations about how unruly these women are. You know what I'm saying? And it's a fact. That's a fact that these women are unruly. But guess who are raising these kids? These unruly women. And then once you see the product of that childhood, we wonder why that dude, Jeremy, I think his name is Jeremy Brown, the one that got killed in that restaurant in Chicago. I guarantee you, I bet my bottom dollar that man was raised by his mother alone. I guarantee you he hold his mother dear.
That is correct.
I don't even know that, but see, thank you, BMU. That's what I'm saying. You can bet on that though. And this is the problem, what's going on in the Black community. You know who's ruling the Black community now? It's the Black women. The Black women are ruling the households. The Black women are raising all the kids, mostly all the kids. So when you got people like Jeremy Brown that's incapable of holding in his, keeping his composure, right? Ruling his own.
He has his mother's tendencies.
It's mother's tendencies. If you see Jeremy Brown, you seen his mama. That's it. That's what I gotta say. I think that's the major problem in the Black community.
Feezy.
If
look, y'all know me. I'm never on one side or the other side. I'm on the side of truth.
Right.
And the reason why Black women are raising children single in America is not the problem, it's the symptoms of the problem. Because you don't get a problem unless you had, number one, you had an ailment. And what was the ailment? You know, I was looking at some videos last night, and I was looking at videos in Las Vegas and Figueroa Street here and where prostitute hangs at. And I said to myself, well, go ahead, man, Joe, get it out. I said to myself, when I walk down Figueroa Street and I see these women who are out there pretty much naked, but I look around and look at the men are weak. I'm sorry. And Freezy, that's what I agree along with you to the back of what you said. I don't make the woman the problem. I believe the general of the service who leads his troops into battle with a strategy, he's the problem. Now, you can trickle it down to each individual soldier if you want to, but we have seen it done in basketball and a lot of other sports. When they get rid of the coach, the team does much better. And what I'm saying is, and I have always said, I can agree along with all the men with all the mayhem that they go through with women, because I have went through it with myself. Just got over a case within my house. And so I understand what they're saying, but in the end of the day, Freezer, you said the right thing. It's left up to us. See, prisoners in prison, I say this a lot and I want it to stick. When prisoners have a problem, they don't turn against the guards or the warden. They turn against other prisoners. And see, for our women to be out of control, there has to be something lax in men not giving that control. See, our women found out a long time ago she can get the same bang for the buck at the same back door, because we all got to go through the back door or the front door and get what we get. If you start looking at Enterprise in America and everything else, what did she see? She see a winning team. What did she see? A winning team. She see a winning team that don't look like you. And so until we step into our square and be exactly what this creator, whatever you call them, intended us to be, we can't complain about the fruit when the damn root is so disturbed. Because the root is what produced the fruit. Right. It's not in reverse.
No, and OG, if I can add to that, a few months back, OG, I got punched in the chest when I had a conversation with my son. Because I think now that certain men now are in a position now that they're set in their ways and they don't want to do it any other way. Right? OG said there's time for black men to step up. But OG, I'm going to explain to you right now. I'm going to address what you said right now. I think that black men are in a position. I told my son, I think that men are set in their ways. I told my son, I say, son, when you grow up, there are some things that you have to have for yourself. You have to have balance. You have to have stability. You have to create a foundation. If you plan to be married like daddy and to have a family like I have and like we have here, son, in order for you to have sons and daughters, there's something that you have to do. And what you have to do is, son, is that we're living in a time where you have to start building your own legacy, because through your own bloodline is where you can correct where these men now are going wrong. This is what I said to him. I said, you have to have a standard. You can't be out here having sex with every woman who says she wants to have sex with you. Now, I do understand that her breasts, can we be real for a minute? I do understand that them titties gonna look real good to you, son. That ass gonna look real good to you when she throw it back at you, son. It's gonna look real good. When she go down on you, son, you gonna feel your soul leave. But you're also gonna see your money leave when she says she's pregnant and she don't want to be with you no more. You're also gonna see that when you get your check, on your check stub, it's gonna be a picture of her smiling saying thank you. You have to be willing to you got to be married before she carry. You got to be willing to find the woman that is for you. And I know that you're going to get a lot of controversy. I know that people are going to tell you I know people are going to tell you ain't this, you ain't that, you a virgin, you still ain't putting nothing in no people. People are going to tell you that, but the main people that are, this is what I'm telling my sons, the main people that are telling you those things are not going to be there when you ain't got no money for no diapers. They're not going to be there when you're looking for a job and you need to pay their child support before they come and lock you up. These people are the people that encourage you to do the wrong things, like those old uncles back in the day that said, you're not a man unless you hit everything moving. Well, I'm teaching my son the opposite. Son, you got to have a standard. You cannot allow yourself to be with a single mother. Now, I'm not saying that single mothers don't have value. I'm saying that single mothers are in traumatic situations, and the majority of those women don't go sit down on the couch and get the help they need to be delivered from that trauma. So son, you need to be in a position where you are with a woman who has the lifestyle and what you are looking for in a woman. You have to be willing to vet her, sit down with her, have conversations with her, right? You have to be able to be a man about it and not go and stick everything that's moving, because that's not helping the community. It's only hurting it, because now you're putting a woman with a child that's bitter toward you, that's going to raise another bitter boy that act like her.
Okay, cool. Here's the thing. We have a brilliant question from the chat.
Absolutely.
Brilliant question.
Yes.
And it's one that I was actually gonna see. Great minds think alike. Great minds think alike.
Must not be talking about you.
This is a brilliant question from a brilliant woman. Okay. Chris Powell asked, say that's credit to the statement, you see him, you're seeing his mama. At what point are we going to hold adult men accountable for recognizing and rectifying poor behavior?
I just said
Very
it.
good question.
I just said it.
Didn't I answer that? Did I answer? Wait a minute. I think my whole summation was the responsibility lies on the men. And I think this is where the manosphere went wrong. I think they came up with a good concept.
Yeah.
But they had so much venom in their voice against the women, and they forgot about they're supposed to be training men.
And that's why that's why we should reach down to our boys. Our boys and teach our sons. Look at right now. You can, and this is what I'm saying. So everything ain't bad, right? Everything that's meant for bad ain't bad, because we can take these red pill points, these red rage niggas out here, and I can say, son, look at this. These are men who have been hurt by women. These are men who have been destroyed by women. And if you make the wrong choice, you can absolutely be on one of these panels one day doing the same thing that they're doing. So, son, I need you to pay attention to this, because this could be the movie of your life if you don't get it together.
BMU, also OG, all three of us actually held the men accountable.
Yes, all three of us. Like,
all three of us did. But Dreddy, just want to say this. Yeah. This is one of the big problems. I'm gonna tell you what it is. These spaces are causing vitriol and bitterness to where women are not hearing men, and men are not truly hearing women, right? These spaces are doing more harm than good. I'm telling you, I done been on some of these damn panels, except for BMU. All right, BMU and Sahaya, huh? But what I'm saying is this: what does it look like when a man does step up? That's the caveat.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's talk about that. Though.
Is that what you really want?
Is that what you really?
Let's talk about it. I think here's the thing. In my experience, when a guy does show up who is given direction, who is willing to lead,
Mark, come on, boy,
who's willing to tell you when you're wrong,
yes,
and what you're doing wrong and how to fix it. If it's not in line with what they want to do, they reject it. This is why you hear me say all the time on your platform, Black Men Unfiltered, like women do want leadership, they do want companionship, they do want all the things, right?
Right.
But they want it on their own terms.
Mandrill,
You know what I'm saying? They want you to lead them and talk to them the way that they want you to lead them. You know what I mean? And it doesn't. Again, this is anecdotal. This is anecdotal. It's only my experience. It's just that's the way it's turned to nowadays. And I agree wholeheartedly with Jay Speed when I say
it ain't anecdotal. That's just
That's in general.
But ain't talking points if anybody's saying.
We forgot. Hey,
come on, Lost.
I got you.
But you got the wrong player for your team. And this is what you got to go with that statement you just made, because if you don't, you're falling back into that same square. What you got to understand, not every basketball player fits every team just because he's good. So what I'm saying is, when you stand up, see, when I go in a room, even at my age, chocolate, tall, 6 feet, smiling, confidence in himself, I demand a presence due to the fact of the atmosphere I'm walking in that room with. And so all the naysayers go be exactly what they go be. I'm not looking for them. I'm looking for the person who's going to be on the journey that I'm on. And I'm moving forward. And for the ones who left behind, sooner or later, they're going to have to catch up, or they're going to fall by the wayside. Not everybody's going to make it out of this. Not in the way they think. And so what I'm saying, when it's all said and done, you don't change. If I go in prison right now and a man came to me, he was 300 something pounds, straight out muscle, he not going to make me submit to him. Whatever he going to try to get from me, he going to have to get it from me dead. You understand what I'm saying? Because I was standing that square. The problem is, y'all want to get in there and you want to negotiate because she has something that you do want. Exactly. But she's not to complete what you need. And that's where y'all fall short at.
Exactly.
You fall short in them rims.
And OG, guess what? OG? The thing is, I think like I said, we got to reach out to the children, our daughters and our sons, because right now it's settled right now. The women are saying we ain't got to listen to them men. Now they got the single mother thing going on where they purposely want to be single mothers. Right? And so now you got that going on. You got all this other stuff. So when it comes to the men now, we got to reach back to our boys and say, listen, this is the requirement. And my thing is this, to sit down today, OG, as a leader, as a man, like we are right now. If I weren't married and no captivity weren't married, and we had to go back into the dating world and we had to sit down today and meet a nice, beautiful young lady and sit down with her and say, hey, listen, babe, I want to make this relationship go further than what it is today. And this is what I'm asking of you. And this is what I'm giving to you. As a leader, I want to make sure that you're protected at all times, mentally, physically, spiritually. I want to make sure that whatever we do, that you are part of everything I do. You're not my doormat to step on, but you're my woman to walk with me. Now, but I do want you to understand, when you were single, you were single. And when it comes to these different things that you used to do, like girls' trips, or the way you used to dress, provocatively, going out in public, showing your breast and your butt, those days are coming to a hard end, because now you under the protection and the guidance of your man now, and you don't need nobody's attention but your man's. And now having that conversation today gets a little rough, because it's my body, my choice. I should be, and men should say, you know what? It is your body, your choice, and it's also my choice to walk away at this point. Right? So men have the issue of not having the strength to walk away because they feel they can't do better, or they feel like, damn, I done put too much in this to walk away. But men need to learn how to walk away.
Men need to learn how to know what their value is. That's number one. And see, we live in a world that we have never had to look at ourselves, because we never had 65% of the workforce women. We're living in a reset time where all ideas of the past have to be reset. But still, in the end of the day, men are the leaders in every nation on this planet.
Exactly.
And if our women are doing the things that we say they are doing, then that shows a reflection of us. I don't care who's in charge, because every nation on this planet is led by men. And so when we understand that, we can stop complaining about what they're doing versus what we should be doing ourselves. And we decide what it looks like in the future. And you are correct. We get the young, We teach the young to reset.
Yes.
I mean, everybody don't went through a reset since we had this epidemic. People are not working in the same position they was working. A lot of brick and mortar is not even hiring people who they're working out at home. So we reset for a virus. What about this virus that we have in this relationship thing that we will have to reset?
And look in the chat right now. She said, if I have to be asked by a man, this, I love this because I always say this, and Mandrell and Freezy, y'all can back me up. She says, if it's in at 412. If I have to be asked by a man to submit, we already have an issue. If I have to ask him to be a leader, we equally have one. I always say this, and these men on this panel can vouch for me. I always say, if you have to ask a woman to be submissive, you are in the wrong organization. You need to leave that organization immediately, because when you find a wife, you find a good thing. And so basically, when I find her, she's already has the characteristics of a wife. She knows how to serve. She knows how to love, to nurture, how to care. And I'm walking into what it is that God has for me, right? I'm walking into that woman that's already prepared to be what she is. If you go into, and the same thing with a man cannot say he's a leader when he has not shown himself to be a leader, right? Now, it goes both ways. But if I'm a man, I'm talking from a man's perspective, and I will hope a woman in the channel, in the chat, please come up and talk from a woman's perspective. But when it comes from a man, if I'm out in the dating world right now and I'm saying, hey, and I meet this woman, if she's going to cover all those characteristics of a wife, I'm like, damn, yeah, that's the one right there. Yeah, that's the one right there. But if you ask to do anything, it's just not. It's not what you want to have.
And that's the bigger problem with it. I'm gonna say this one thing, Mandrell, and this is very important. I always hear these men talking about they want a woman to submit, and I always has the next question to them: Who in the hell are you going to submit to? See, this is the major problem. See, because we have these conversations from a standstill that the men are all together. No, young man, your job don't make you all together.
Exactly.
Your career don't make you all together. Your car don't make you all together. You can have every designer shoe of Nike, don't make you all together. Exactly. What makes you all together is what's in your heart, brother. Yep. What's in your thinking. And so when you have that, you don't have to demand anything. See, when I walk in the room with a bow tie and a white shirt and shiny shoes and with my, they know what I represent. So ain't no flea coming trying to get on my suit. Come on. Because they know it's going to be killed. Yep. So I demand quality without even opening my mouth, because what I represent is something bigger than me. Yep. I submit to a supreme God.
Well, I want to say this.
Men are conforming. That's what's happening. They need to get their ass.
And that's because they're not being taught, and this whole management stuff. But I want to get back. I want to get back to the original question. Yeah, exactly. I want to get back to the original question.
I was going to go back to that too, Dre.
Right. Why is it so important for men to learn to control their behavior during their emotions? Because I brought this up because, like, I had a I haven't slept yet. I could not sleep last night. I had a kind of a distressing phone call, and it just kind of, it's unnerving. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're restless, you can't sleep because you're worried about something. You know what I'm saying? Or something's on your mind, and it's like, okay, I'm always evaluating myself and making sure that I don't overreact to something or just downplay it at the same time. You know what I mean? It's a crazy balancing act that you have to do with that. And I was like, it'd be good to talk about. Why is it so important? Then I started thinking about, against those videos where you see this guy punches this woman. She's just trying to get a hot dog. Again, he paid the ultimate price for it, like he should have. I don't feel sorry for him. But I think this is extremely important for men to learn to control their emotions. You know what I mean? Because it's ridiculous, man. It's ungentlemanlike, and people seem to think it's okay for men to rage out like that, and I simply disagree with that. Before you guys answer, I want to welcome OG Patrice to the panel. Thank you for coming, OG Patrice. How you doing? It's been a while. How you been?
I'm good, Mandrell. Congratulations on your new channel and your first live.
Thank you very much.
Salute to the gentleman on the panel. Black Man Unfiltered said he wanted a woman's perspective, so I just thought I'd come up here and give it as a woman that's seasoned and mature. And I want to say to the OG black man on the panel too, salute to you, brother, because you cooking up here. And I'm so glad that it's older, seasoned, mature men like yourself that is having this conversation with the younger generation. We need more men like that to have these type of conversations, just like we need more older women like myself, seasoned, to have the conversation with the younger women generation. And it's only for the ones that have ears to hear and eyes to see. Everybody ain't gonna get it, right? We know it's not for everybody. But it is definitely true. In my life and experience, I have never have had to, and I was married for over 10 years. And I'm currently single, but I'm dating, and I'm older out here, right? So I see the difference in the shift and the narrative that's, happening with the younger generation. And thank God I don't have them type of problems, because there is a lot of nefariousness going on out here with the younger women and some of their behavior. But again, OG up here is telling y'all right, this would not be if the black men step up and take the leadership roles and positions back. It won't, because women like that will fall by the wayside. There will be no room and space for them in your lives and in the lives of people around you, because you will not be choosing those women. You will not be on platforms constantly whining and complaining and having the conversations about women that you don't want. Talk about the women that you do want. The virtuous woman, the woman that naturally submits to a man. I have never had to have this conversation. A man has never had to ask me to submit to anything, because if he is a man and a man's man and a natural born leader, I naturally know how to curve to that as a woman. So that's should never have to be the conversation, right? But I hear this a lot, and I think it's because men are trying to force women to be something that they are not ready to be, or that they don't want to be. And why would you want to be with someone like that anyway? Y'all have to stop being so trusting of the big butt and the smile, right? You have to stop being so trusting and follow, man, but it's good though, man, but she's giving you all kind of hell. Like I've seen men in my own family go through that crap. I'm like, why are you allowing this crap? Like, she ain't worth it. And it's the same with what I see some of the women go. He ain't worth it. They ain't worth your time, worth your energy. And especially if they're going to cost you financial burden, if they're going to cost you possibly time in jail, people like that is not worth it. So we need to stop allowing ourselves to get involved and know when to walk away from toxic people, especially as black people.
I want to say this,
and I yield for now.
I want to say this. It was said earlier that the woman said, if you have to ask me to lead, I forgot exactly what she said, but there are
Ask me to
that,
submit. Ask me to submit.
Yeah, if you have to ask me to submit, thank you, OG. There are people that are already married. There are people that have already tied the knot. Okay, they're invested financially. They have kids. There are men that are not mature. The same men that OG Patrice is talking about, but they can learn how to be better men, right, in the course of being married. And it is possible that they're going to have to ask their unruly wife, hey, you need to learn how to submit to me. And these women will have to be able to be willing to learn what that means. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about realistic situations, real dynamics that people are already involved in. So that goes back to my original question, right? Like Mandrell said, why is that so important? It's so important because men have to make decisions, important decisions. And those decisions are not just is, those decisions do not just affect the man himself, but it affects everybody around him. It affects his wife. It affects his kids. It affects everybody in the community in some instances. We have to make sound decisions, right?
Okay, so Freezy, let me say this to you.
Let me let my plan 1 second.
Okay.
So what do some of those decisions look like, right? Some of those decisions might look like you said, OG Patrice, I'm not dealing with you no more.
Mm-hmm.
But what does a man have to be willing to do that's already married? He's have to be willing to break up his family. See, it's a bigger dynamic than what the women are talking about too. See, the women have to understand that you and your attitude, right? You're already married. Why can't you see you got kids with this dude? The Bible say it's better for a man to deal with a den of lions, to dwell in the wilderness, than to deal with an unruly woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you know how many unruly women that are willing to keep that devilish attitude and willing to break up their damn family? See what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. We just dealing with one dynamic. Yeah, it's a lot of immature men that like the big butt and the smile, and this before they got married. They ain't had no business dealing with this damn woman. Yep. But we know. We have met women that know how to give them their best interview in the beginning and switch it up down the damn road. After you get the ring, after you get married. What are you doing in situations like that when kids are involved and the whole families are in jeopardy and the man about to lose his damn mind?
Okay. So right there. He's about to lose his mind. I'm sorry, OG.
I just want to respond because I know what you're saying, Freezy, and I know that there are men that are in that position right now and have been in that position, right? I think the hardest thing for Black women that are the women that you're speaking of, I think the hardest thing for them is hearing the word submit, because when they hear that word, they in their minds, they're thinking, I have to give up all my power to this man. And I think that that's the difference, that they don't realize that it's a difference between submitting and giving all your power. Black women, for some reason, have a problem with the word, right? So if you're in this type of marriage or relationship with a woman and you really love her and you really want to try to make the relationship or the marriage work, maybe not use the word, maybe have something, maybe address it in another way or form, right? And if this woman is still not that type of woman that wants to, like I said, I naturally curve to a man. I say curve. I naturally know how to curve and move to a man that knows how to handle me as a woman, right? Because I do believe that there's a specific handling and molding that a man that's a natural born leader that just love to do. And a woman like me, I'm attracted to that shit. I'll just admit it. I love a man's man. I know when he know his business, walk in a room, he demand the room. He know how to handle his business. He's a good man. He's a good father. He's a good pillar in his community. That's the type of man I'm attracted to. Right? So if you have a woman, and she could be your wife, and this is men, y'all need to listen to this honestly, because sometimes that woman could be your wife that you have had children with. And if she is not willing to address the matter, whether it be, listen, let's sit down, let's have a conversation. This is what I need from you. If you telling her, this is what I need from you, right? And she's saying to you, well, this is what I need from you. How do we get there? That's number one. How do we get to where I give you what you need and want, and you give me what I need and want in this relationship or in this marriage? And sometimes it's words for us. The moment the Black man say submit to the woman, especially these new age modern women, they have a problem with that word alone. So maybe if we address it in another form and have another word or conversation surrounding it, maybe you'll get better results. But guess what, Freezy? If that woman still ain't that woman, I don't care if she is the wife and the mother of your child, walk away. Don't, matter of fact, run. Like for real, because every woman is not, listen, if she ain't it, she ain't it.
But see, this is where we get into murky waters, though.
You can still walk away and still be a good father to your children. You don't have to continue to be her man or her husband to be a good father to the children.
We ask men all the time, and especially if you got sisters, I had 11 of them. We ask women all the time, or family members, do you might know, why in the hell did that woman stay in that abusive relationship? But we never ask ourselves that. See, because we look at abuse only as, and this is why a man has to control his emotions. Because men can go to another level.
Yep.
And it usually, the level he can go to, the woman can't withstand. And see, this is why I tell my daughter, or any woman that has been in my presence, you are foolish to sit there and argue with a lion in his den. Because at any given time, argument is what? Fight. Fight is what? War. And if he can go up a couple notches and you can't, and you think only 911 can protect you, you are in some trouble, because sometimes 911 is not good enough. You have to call the morgue. And so I say this: men need to stop falling in love with strangers. That's one emotion you can control. Stop falling in love with strangers. And that's what a lot of us do. We fall in love with strangers, not knowing the history of that person, not knowing how that fits. If a woman tells me she can't get along with nobody in her family, she ain't gonna get along with me. I'm pretty much gone. Because there's no way that everyone in your family is a problem and you the common denominator in that situation.
That part.
And so these are the things we have to reset how we date. I taught my son, the first date you go out on, you go in a public place, not a restaurant, not a movie, and y'all talk. The second date you have, you want to get to know her family. And people say, oh, well, that's too fast. No, it's not. Why invest? You wouldn't even invest in a car without giving it a trial run, or finding some background on the odometer, or whatever that car's been, if it's a second owner, first owner. One thing I know about introducing you to their family is that person can play games with you. But not everybody in that family is that slick. And they gonna let some stuff out in that conversation. And so these are some of the things that we can reset how we go about doing things. But men are so eager and so thirsty to make that woman like him sexually, fuckable. And I'm going to use that word. That they forget all the signs because they ain't never ever got in the car and started up the key to get to a red light. Because these are the things that we have to do. So back in the olden days, there was a reason why mothers and fathers picked the mate of their children. Because these people were so wise and wisdom, and they know the families. They knew who was good for their son or their daughter. We don't do that anymore. But what we can do, we can protect our assets. And you say, what is the assets of a man or a young man who's growing up? He got the juices of life. She only have the egg. He have the juices of life to bring them eggs alive. And for the rest of his life, wherever he plant his seed at, that would be part of him. And so what I'm saying is, if women are walking in the courtroom 80% starting to divorce, men are going to have to reevaluate how we look at failure and be able to say to ourselves, I made a mistake. And I think that's the thing about men. Sometimes we don't want to walk in that courtroom because we figure one thing is going to be unfair. Another, you go look at it, people going to look at you as you a failure. And I think we got to get all this stuff off our shoulders. We got to get all these ideas and emotions off our shoulders and start reevaluating what is the end point we want. We want a successful family. We want successful children. We want a successful legacy. And we go out to attain that. We're going to have to attain that by putting our best foot forward.
OG,
and we have to
OG, let me hold on real quick, Captain. Just I want to just say this real quick. I think that for the men, OG, Patrice and OG, I think for the men have to get to the point, like they said, smile on the booty. I'm with captivity. I think some men, we're past that. And if we're not, we just immature as shit. But I think that some men need to stop. If we're going to the next level with this, I think men need to stop being Bob the Builder. And what I mean by that is, if you get with a woman and she can't have a simple conversation with you, and you have to change wording and have to pander to wording and switch up wording and how you say something to her, then that's not the woman for you.
Hold on.
And talk to a woman, and you gotta walk on eggshells, or you gotta go in there and write a script out before you talk to her.
Well, black man, not like that. No. Wait, listen. I didn't mean it like that. I meant like if you have a conversation with your woman or your wife and you say, honey, listen, what is it? Is it the problem that I use the word submit? Is it another word that will make you feel more comfortable that we can have this conversation? Listen, it has to start with a conversation, and ask her, do you have a problem with the word submit? But see, because I think, especially if you all come from a religious Christian background, submit shouldn't be a problem to the women that claim they're Christians, right? Shouldn't be a problem to them at all, because it's in the Bible, right? Hit her with that. Listen, let me tell y'all some what I noticed about men. I've said this to my brothers, my uncles, my male cousin. Y'all take a lot of stuff off of some women sometimes that you all don't deserve. But the power that y'all can take back, because they don't think that you guys will walk the fuck away.
There you go.
That is it. They don't. They thinking, well, I got too much to lose. I got these kids, I'm worried about. She gonna put child support. How about this? Leave that ass. Be that father. Put yourself on child support.
Hell no.
And do what you got to do. No. I say that. Let me tell you why, black man. Because you will get more favor than if the vindictive woman go down child support because she's mad and angry at you and end up putting you on child support. It's going to be worse for you in that situation. Let me tell you why. Because I'm just saying, as an example, look what what's his name did. He went and put himself on it. Because he knows that in situations it's not in y'all favor. I'm telling y'all have to think and be smarter than the serpent. Because if you got a vindictive woman that don't want to listen to you, don't want to submit to you in the way that you want, and you walk away from the relationship, you don't think she's gonna seek child support on you and try to get you for everything you got. You don't think she's gonna try to get you for that half. You don't think she's gonna try to make your life miserable so you don't be available and equal enough for no other woman. She wants to leave you empty so you don't be fit for the next woman. That's what women do. Now I'm giving you the game.
Let me tell you this though. Let me tell you, the game is the game. But let me tell you this. You got men who are highly intelligent in this field, and you got dumb niggas. And what I'm saying to you is, a dumb nigga will let a woman take everything he got in a divorce and take his kids. An intelligent man, I've told Mandrell, you know my story. Men have to be to the point where you're more intelligent than that woman. And if that woman decides she want to leave, you need to go over to. You need to learn the laws of your state, like Texas, Louisiana. I'm in the southern states. You can go take your kids and get your kids and say, hey babe, I want to take my kids to the park today, and you don't have to take them back. And she has to prove to the court that you are unfit. The roles turn. Men have to become smarter and stop conforming to these women saying, oh, she gonna get me if I don't change the words. Oh, she gonna get me. Hell no. I'm going to say what I need to say. Hold on, Mandrell. I'm 14 years in. I've said everything I needed to say to my wife, and we're wonderful.
Okay.
But black man, you turning what I said around, though. I didn't say that.
OG Patrice. I know. Here's the thing. just like I have to do now. This is what she's talking about. Okay, she was saying that say you with your woman and you look, she's not submissive. You want her to be more submissive, or whatever the case may be. Instead of you telling her, "I need you to work on being more submissive," you could in turn say, I'd like you to learn to trust me more and be more cooperative. Because that's what submission is. It's ultimate trust in a woman's ultimate trust in her partner and her cooperation with him. Here's where I learned submission. My mama told me one time. I said, and this is fairly recent, like a year and a half ago or so, and it stuck with me. I said, "Ma, I watched you and Daddy go from nothing to what you guys eventually built for yourselves together." I said, "Now look at relationships and marriages. Everyone gets divorced. All these, most people don't even make it to marriage today. But the people who do get married, 50%, they say 50% get divorced, but it's more than that. Has to be." I'm like, "Okay, how did y'all do it? How did you and Daddy do it?" She said, "It wasn't so much me." She said, "It was your daddy." I said, "What do you mean? I always saw you running around doing most of the talking and everything." She said, "Well, your daddy was quiet." I said, "Yeah, he was quiet." She said, That's why you saw me talking so much." He said, "But when we went at night, when we go to bed, that's when we had our conversations. We talked all the time." Then I said, "So what made it work?" She said, "I believed in it. I believed in it. I trusted it. He did." I said, "How did you come to believe in him that much?" She said, "He always did what he told me he was going to do." And if you met my mother, you would think she was a model woman. You think she's not submissive, but no, she was, and she that taught me a lesson that perception that can be fooled. My mama told me what the glue was, and she told me that, like I said, that was a year and a half ago. She said, "Whoever you marry, make sure you always do for that woman what you tell her you're gonna do. If you can't do it, don't tell her you can."
Drelly, before OG go, I want to say this. Submission is not just being cooperative and trusting me. Submission is knowing your role in this relationship.
Amen.
That it's bigger than that, bro. I'm telling you, it's a position that you have to feel. Listen, this is what I'm saying. Yeah. It's a position that you're going to have to be willing to feel. See, this where I get confused at. When women go on that damn job, it ain't no argument, it ain't no confusion.
Whatever you want, Daddy.
You feel what I'm saying? But when they come home to that dude, they look at him like, "Submit." Oh, you gotta just choose another word, cause man, listen what I'm saying.
Ain't no complications and no policies for no women. I promise you that.
Let me say this right here. So,
but I'm gonna show you with that word.
Guess what we landed back? It's a reason why I asked the question about the people that was already married. Because see, we got to have these discussions because these discussions include a whole bunch of different dynamics. So guess what we ended right back to? I want y'all to pay attention to what I'm finna say. We ended right back to a broken family, a broken household. Listen to what I'm saying now. Now, guess what? Guess what usually happens in the women's eyes, in the sisterhood? See, the father wasn't there. What the father? See, that go back to that question that I forgot the lady name who wrote that on that chat, Chris something, I forgot. But see, that go back. Now it's a full circle. Now she would have asked, well, what the father was though, Freezy? He left because he was about to lose his goddamn mind.
Exactly.
That's where he at. But see, we don't want to talk about that. The men ain't shit. The men ain't present. The men are not being fathers. The men are in the household. But we just got a solution from a woman on the panel. Leave her.
Thank you very much. I like to. I got a guess.
I know, Kenneth.
Come on, I mean, because the question was, why is it important for men to control their emotions?
Man.
Yeah, you got to deal with
it. Yeah. But Mandrell, I like to make this simple. Y'all have the answer right there in your face and didn't realize it. I realized it about 20 years ago.
What's that?
When I met and there's a backstory with this, so I don't want to get into too much detail. But I had 5 children when I got married, my second marriage. But I have already had 5 children with my first marriage. I didn't want any other children. But one thing that I find out with this word y'all are using, this submit word and all this other, what comes with it, what not comes with it. And the strangest thing about this is the word has been there all the time. Women have used it on men. Anytime that they see us slacking, lacking, or whatever, what they usually ask us to do, be men. Isn't that saying, can you man up? Can you be men?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that word, that other word has been there too, bro. Only thing I had to tell my wife, and she told me, and she said something after I told her. I said, as long as we together, I would always want you to be a woman. Because a lady is man-made. That means a lady changes from one design to the next design. What lipstick is good, what eyebrows is good, whatever. That's a lady. That's man design. A woman is God design. And that's the only thing I request of my significant other is be what she was created to be. And you know what she told me? She said, I would always do that. But I would ask the same thing of you. Will you always be a man to me? And so we can go into this new vernacular and this new grammar, and we can try to change these words. But I always say to make the best food is simple. Let's just make it simple. If you find a woman that you think you have to add the ingredients of her submitting to you, you haven't found that woman. A woman knows her duties. A woman knows anything. You don't have to bring it to her. As a man knows his duty, as he's been trained, as a son or a daughter been trained, and as education, knowledge, and everything else, there's pretty much anywhere they can go in the world and see great examples of what a woman is and what a man is. And the problem is, these guys go outside of this country and go to get decent women that are raised by guys who with a 3rd and 4th grade education. You have to ask yourself the question, how can a guy with that lack of education produce a woman that a person would want and for that person to be his wife? It's due to the fact is they made it simple. We got to stop making things so complex, trying to add too much grammar to it, trying to sound too smart. It's a woman or man. That's it. Either she acting as a woman or he's acting as a man. We don't, all that other stuff is just, I don't know what you call it.
OG, real quick, and I'm going to land my plane. I got to take my son to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, please do.
All right. But I will say this. When it comes to what you just said, OG, you have a great point. I think that we need to go back to the examples, and that's why I cringe when people say, "Oh, tradition wasn't nothing," when they have nothing to fill that hole when they take it away. Because when you go back and look at, and I explained this to me and Mandra talk offline, I explained that my grandmother and grandfather married what 60 years, right? My mom and my dad been married for 30 years, my aunt 25 years. Right, I have all these longevity of over hundreds of years of marriages, right? Combined marriages that I can see examples of. And I thank God my mom said, you know what, I'm gonna let you go stay with your grandma for the summer. And I watched how my grandmother treated my grandfather, how she served him without complaint. When I never heard my grandmother cuss at my grandfather or use anything vulgar toward him, but I heard them disagree and come back together. Same thing with my mom and dad, still married 30 years. And I feel like if I get into a marriage, if I get a divorce, I'm failing because I'm hearing my grandmother say, this is my man. And whatever goes on with that man right there, we're going to work it out no matter what happens. And I hear my grandfather say the same thing about my grandmother. That's 60 years.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So now we have to use those examples. Now we use the examples of people today. Everybody will be divorced. I'm like going back to Frieza. It circles right back around to what a man is. Because how many men and men got to start being transparent. How many men that sat in the house and walked away from their whole family to keep from deleting that woman, or to keep from harming that woman physically, or to keep from tearing up something at that house? And then he get blamed and said he's a deadbeat. He's not a good man. A man ain't nothing like Frieza said. So I agree with you, Frieza. I land my plane there, Mandre. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Listen, I'd like to welcome Von Bryant.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Von Bryant? Thank you for coming up.
Wow. Well, man, listen. I'm excited for you, my brother. You're making great strides, man. You know what I'm saying? I see the growth. I know where you started at. You came from the bottom. Now you're here. But it's a good thing, man. But I had a question that I asked a few times in the chat, and I don't know if you were aware of it or saw it. But I'm very impressed by the logo behind you. It looks like a light bulb, but then it has the brain.
Brain on it, yeah.
So where did that concept come from? Because that is an awesome logo right there. Did you inspire that, or how did you come across that?
Yeah, I wanted this show to be much more intellectual, and like I said, this first live right here is me filling it out, and I'm actually kind of taking notes on what changes to be made, and as far as the structure of the show and all that stuff when I do live streams like this. Yeah, if you watch my show, I call idiots smooth-brained individuals, right?
Okay.
They got no wrinkles in their brain. It's just smooth, like a bowling ball.
Mm.
They don't think, So anyway, I wanted to be more of an intellectual show. Like today's show is good. It is. A lot of people made a really good. It's not the same old conversation you hear from other panels.
Right.
It's just not.
And
then light bulbs. When you have an idea, the light bulb comes. They say the light bulb comes on.
Right. I get it.
Okay. What if I got a light bulb in my brain?
Right.
And then there you go.
And the two go together quite well, man. So I'm very impressed by that. But let me just say this, we always talk about the word submission and how the woman should submit to the man and, and all of these things. But, I question the fact of, listen, are you submittable? Who is she submitting to? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get
that part. Yeah, that part.
Listen, we all talk about this Proverbs 31 woman, and we know how to describe her to a T, right? But then we're really not being a Psalms 1:1-3 man. When it says, blessed is the man that walk not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord. And in this law doth he meditate day and night, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of waters, and he won't be moved. So are we being that type of man for her to be submissive to?
Absolutely, I am.
Now listen, my wife, as long as I'm following my purpose and she's following hers, she should have no point falling in line. I've never in a million years had to, and I haven't lived that long, but I never had to ask a woman to hey, you should be submitting to me. I'm the leader. Everyone plays their roles and everyone falls into character. You see what I'm saying? And so, this discussion, when we go back and forth about submission, and the women are upset as soon as you say the word, because how dare you submit to what? You know what I'm saying? And so it just becomes like very contentious, and I've seen it happen down through the years of my experience in being on YouTube. But one thing that I have learned is that it's like we're dogs chasing a tail, never catching it, because we keep going around in circles talking about the same thing over and over again, and we never come to any type of resolve. You know what I'm saying? But conversations like this and many others that I've heard, I've gained a lot of wisdom and knowledge from those, because they have come outside of the box. You see what I'm saying? It's not the ordinary talking point, if you could say that. So but yeah, I just wanted to say that a little bit. And as far as the man governing and being in control of his temperament, come on, gentlemen. I saw a display of something that I really didn't like. You see what I'm saying? Because we get so caught up in our egos and in ourselves. We forgot how to respect. You see what I'm decent respect for one another. Why is another man yelling at another man to make his point? This is what I don't understand, and we get so cocky and upset about it. You know what I'm saying? If we could just take a step back just a little bit, calm down, you see what I'm saying? And listen. You know, if you look at the word listen, you know what I'm saying? Listen is related to silent. And if you interchange the letters, you can spell the word silent from the word listen. But listen is the key. And a lot of times we're talking at each other, but we're not listening to each other. You see what I'm saying? And so I appreciate the opportunity, Mandrell, and I believe that you're going to do well in this space because you have the personality for it, you have the tenacity for it, you know, you have the intelligence for it. And I believe that your gift is going to make room for you, sir. And so I just wanted to drop by to congratulate you and say that, and you know, much respect to everybody on the panel. You know, no captivity, Black Men Unfiltered. Black Men Unfiltered, you know, it's like you're becoming the typology of a bishop in these spaces. You see what I'm saying? Because you are organized, you have a network, but then you're also sending people out. You see what I'm saying? And they represent your brand as well, because some of them came from up under you, you know. So kudos to you. And OG Patrice, always a pleasure to see you. OG, the other OG, God bless you. And Lost in Translation, man, always good to see you guys on the panel. Sometimes I'm sitting in the back, you know, or I'm lurking and I'm listening, you know, but I'm learning though. See what I'm saying?
Hey, Von, before
Ditto,
you leave,
brother Von, ditto.
before you leave, Von, I wanted to what you said about men being submittable, right? That's true. But I think when we have these type of conversations, right? And it's not really a pushback because I agree with everything you said. But when we have these type of conversations, I'm gonna just use myself for an example, right? I refuse to walk in my house on eggshells, like worrying if I'm gonna make a mistake, if I'm not submittable today, but I'm submittable tomorrow. In my practice and belief, in my belief, in my culture, what I believe, what I practice, right? And I can go to the scripture where it says in 1 Peter, it says, likewise, wives, be subject to your own husbands, so that even if some do not obey the word, they may be won without the word by the conduct of their wives.
Come on, man.
So
that's a good point.
When we look at this dynamic, and there's a beautiful young lady in the chat named Quantum Dean of Metaphysics. She wrote a chat saying it was at 5:43 p.m. She said, if I'm looking for you to lead and your ass ain't got no plan and don't know how, you getting ran over, period. So this is the problem. Listen to what I'm saying. This is the problem. So if I was with a woman like that, she telling me, if I ain't got it together today, if I lost my job, right? If I'm off balance, if I get depressed, right? So she's telling me, Freezer, you're gonna get ran over. No, that's not right. Even at that point
Freezy,
in time,
I don't think that's what she means. I don't.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, OG. She shouldn't be saying ran over, period.
My lord.
But see, again, I think you're taking it out of content. I don't think she means it the way you're saying it.
OG, this is where we get into murky waters, because we got women try to explain that shit away. And this is dangerous.
No, I'm not trying to do that. I'm saying I think the wording.
Listen to what I'm saying. She's saying he's going to get ran over. I'm suggesting to everybody on the panel, everybody in the chat, if you got a woman that's liable to run you over if you ain't got your shit together, she ain't the right one too. Listen, all I'm saying is women should be prepared for men, right? To not have a plan at certain times. Sometimes shit get cloudy for men.
She responded to you, Free. She said, women who are not going to, hold on. She said, hold on, go back up. She said, yeah, you would be the problem for staying is the actual point.
See, but that's the problem. breaking up. Who are really breaking up the families?
Okay, cool. Thank you. Freezy.
Okay, okay.
That's a whole other conversation.
Y'all
I
ain't
get what
really
you're saying.
hearing me though.
Freezy,
I would love to
I
answer
hear
that.
you.
Freezy,
I
I understood her analysis of it. I think you're taking it meaning like she's a woman that she's saying. I think in general she's saying if you are a man that doesn't have a plan to lead, to be the leader to that woman, it's women out here that will take advantage of that and run over you. That's how I think she meant that. I didn't think she meant it in the way you're saying. So I think wording,
Right.
you know what I mean? I think it was the word.
She would run over a man. That's what you're saying. She wasn't saying that she would personally run over a man, but a man would get run over in this society if he doesn't have a plan. And what I'm saying is that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong on so many levels.
Well, of course it's wrong, but it's also wrong when women get with men and do certain things and men run over them. So again, I understand. I think it's content. I think context is everything in how you say something. And I think you just got misconstrued about her wording, what she's saying. If you are a man out here that don't have a plan, you just kind of out here willy-nilly, or you're a kind of man that's real easy and just let a woman get away with a lot of stuff. It is women out here that will run over you. That's just the truth. Listen, I didn't say it was right. I just said it's the truth.
Right.
Just like his men, his men out here that will dog good women out. They have good women and they will dog them out. That's just the truth.
And ruin them for life.
That's all.
Ruin them for life. Now, I'd like to introduce my next guest, Candid Ann. Hey, Candid Ann. Hi, Candid Ann.
Hello, everyone. I just came up on here briefly to, one, say congratulations on your first show, Mandrell. And, we'll talk a little bit in the back chat or whatever, but, I stepped away. This conversation's been going on for 3 hours now. I was in the beginning when it was just you and Freezy. I stepped away because I'm scrubbing the floors, and I came back to find us, or the panel, whomever. I don't know where the conversation somehow got back into blaming Black women, submit Black women, and the same nonsense that you guys always talk about all the time. And I hope, I don't know where it went. I'll have to rewind and figure out where that happened, but I'm hoping this isn't the 2.0 of something that already exists. I'm hoping that this is completely okay, cool, awesome. I don't know what happened.
Like I said, I'm taking notes. I'm just because like I told you, just working on the framework of how I want the show to be run, to bring people back on subject. Because my question was, why is it important for men to learn to control their emotions?
And somehow we get back into
we got here.
Right? And somehow, some way we get back into women submitting, when the only thing that any one of us can do is be responsible for yourself. The only thing you can do is look in the mirror and be responsible for yourself and make your own choices. I'm not gonna, I resigned from having conversations about man versus woman because my shit is intact. I got a man, I got no problems. I'm about to scrub my floors and do what I do, right? But it's sickening, it's annoying, and it's the same. I don't want this to be a 2.0, 3.0, 5.0. We got so many channels dedicated to talking about they can submit at the job, though, right? They can submit at the job, but they don't know how to submit it in the house. Like, can we push the brain level? Can we push the conversation forward on this channel? Y'all can do what you want someplace else, right? But I'm hoping.
And I agree, Candace. How are you, sweetie?
Candid.
Candid. How are you?
Candid.
It's good to hear
I'm
you.
hoping somehow, some way we can have a more balanced conversation, that we can have women on here that can have a respectful conversation as well, and we can be welcomed and have a conversation in which our voices can be heard, and that is not another 2.0, 3.0, 5.0, because we have so many channels dedicated already talking about why we won't submit. The Bible said this, and blah, 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 blah.
So
No.
I think you missed a. No, I think she missed a lot of the show. That's all I want to say. I think you need to back it up.
She had to miss a lot of the show.
I told you.
Yeah, if you go back,
floors, I'm doing spring cleaning. I'm scrubbing my floors. It takes a long time because I'm not just mopping. I'm actually scrubbing the grout. So I missed a lot. So I just wanted to put that out there. Okay.
Yeah. Because I think it's been a well balanced. Because I won't participate. I won't participate. I can't even talk right now.
You want
okay. Well, I'm eating at the same time I'm trying to talk, so I shouldn't be doing that. But I want.
You want to pay?
I won't put myself in them type of challenge unless I'm challenging what they're saying, because that's not the way I roll. I think there's been more of the responsibility on a man on this show than any show that I have ever been on, and I think that's where I kept trying to push the line to. In the end of the day, regardless of what you're going through, it's the leadership of the men. They have to stand up in their square.
OG, can you do me a favor and tell everybody who opened up with that? Putting it on the man?
Yeah, you did. I just pick it. You pick it. I pick it back. But Mandrell, I got to go. Would you share my screen, please? I think it's Yeah, please do. Share my screen.
And I'm gonna step down too. I enjoyed the conversation. Mandrell, again, congratulations to you. I came up here because it was a request for a female to come up and give her perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just really hope one thing, because we can have these conversations, but I really want men to listen and listen to what I said, and not just take it as a back and forth banter. I said to you men, because I see you men in these positions, you need to know when to walk away, and I'm gonna leave it at that. You need to know when to walk away.
Okay. It's been nice talking to you. I've seen you on other channels. But I just want to leave this, Mandrell, as I always leave. This has been my poster ever since I've been into YouTube. Because I think when at the end of the day, it starts right here. The trust, the love, who we really are, versus who we've been taught who we are. And I think this thing goes so deep into the wormhole that we're going to have these deeper conversations why we do the things we do. Peace, love, and always strive for the truth. OG signing out.
All right, OG.
Thank you, OG.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to introduce another guest, the World Class. World Class, thank you for coming, man. Appreciate it. So help me with this. Why is it important for men to learn to control their emotions?
First of all, congratulations on your first stream.
Thank you very much, sir.
Peace to the chat. Peace to all the brothers and sisters that came up on the channel.
Great greetings.
To you, Mandrell, you're definitely lucky to have me. I should patrol you for all the times you put up on my chat.
Right.
Showing your hind parts.
Okay. I didn't do anything.
I want to say a lie. You remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Okay.
I don't know where you getting this from.
Control your emotions. Because emotions are fake. They're not real. It's gonna start off the right way.
Okay.
That's why they need to control. Because you need to control fake things that don't exist. Emotion means a social movement. To agitate, to stir up, to remove. It does not mean love, happiness, and joy. The other one, feelings, is a verb. It means to touch. To touch doesn't mean something touching you. It means you touching something. So the entire concept is fake. It doesn't exist. It's not real. So just like this space has this dumb thing called DICK discipline, like and the other dumb thing, emotional intelligence. We're always modifying fundamental things with stupid things that don't make any sense. You don't need to control your emotion. You need self-control, period. You don't need emotional intelligence. You just need actual intelligence, applicable intelligence. Not makeshift, store brand, plea deal, malarkey, BS. Because we make too many assumptions in 2023. And And the biggest assumption that we make is that we're human, and we're not. We don't operate like humans. We don't kill or delete 24,117,000 children since 1973. That's not a human thing to do. Something that we have never done. So the entirety of the concept of this BS emotional crap, when you're not doing emotional things, you're doing sensitive things. Because if you use the word properly, sensitivity, then that suggests that you have trauma, and that suggests that there's something that you need to do about it. Some ineptitude, something not developed. So we don't call it what it really is. You're sensitive about something, and that prompts an action. But if I say emotion, then everybody just say, "Oh, okay," and walk away, and nobody got to do shit. We say a lot of stupid words that really don't mean anything. It keeps people in the same place, which is what the word entertainment means. So fundamentally, men just need to be disciplined. Seems that we most hear discipline when it comes to monogamy being brought up, and a man can't mess with another woman. We don't talk about discipline no other time. I'm one that can talk about it. I'm 37. I never drank a day in my life, never smoked a day in my life, no tattoos, no criminal record, never tried a drug. I can go on and on. I'm disciplined. And there's no modification. There's no substitute for actual old-fashioned discipline. There's no substitute for old-fashioned intelligence. There's no substitute for these things. There's no substitute for dad. We spend time substituting these things. We never got out of the habit of it. So what had happened, what I've been listening to, same thing. Like, we want to say that this panel is different from the other panels, and they have not been, because we keep talking this bullshit about men taking responsibility. OG Patrice has got up here and said, "Men, walk away." Men have been walking away for the last century and been called a bunch of names for doing that. It's the most disingenuous, disrespectful thing.
Tread lightly, Noble. They
Tread
gonna get
lightly,
you.
Noble. They
Tread
coming
lightly,
looking.
dog.
They on Mandrell
Goddamn.
ass. Telling Mandrell he gonna be 2.0, 5.0.
Tread lightly,
calm
bro.
down, Tread. You know Mandrell finna. Listen, just calm down, bro.
Listen, y'all know me. I'm not pulling no punches. He don't have to pull no punches on my channel. I'm not pulling no punches. It's because we've been doing this, and we're going to continue to do this if men do what y'all say and take responsibility for something you have no control of. Black females have had control and custody of our children at a rate of 80 to 92% for the last 60 years. You are 80 to 92% responsible for these weak men. You raised them, you produced them. They've been around you. So we can keep taking a bunch of responsibility for what she did all day, but according to her, we wasn't there. And according to OG Patrice, we shouldn't have been there. So what are these chicks talking about? Y'all got to get y'all lives together. Or y'all got to have conversation and stop saying stupid shit to us and get that shit in order and stop listening and stop coming up here saying random stuff on one side and random stuff. You hear the chicks that got a husband say a certain thing, and you hear the chicks without husbands say a certain thing. So what's the truth from y'all? I can get a married man up here to say the same thing I'm saying. Non-married man to come up here and say the same thing. We don't want to accord. Why y'all not?
No. I want. Thank you, brother. And I want to say this, man. I want to say this. Man. I want to say this because it's on my heart to say this. And I appreciate OG J Speed for being honest. I asked OG J Speed who was the first one that initiated saying that the men should take lead of their communities. They should take lead of their households, right? When I went that route, nobody had no problem. It was like, yeah, you're right, Freezy, yeah, right. But I'm gonna tell you what I care about the most. I'm gonna tell y'all what I care about the most. Now let's go. Now Drelly, I respect your platform. We finna go back to the original.
If we have to, I really don't want to do that. I really don't.
Listen what I'm saying. We finna let's go back. Let's go back to Chicago.
Muscle, sir. I got you.
Listen.
I really don't want to go back to anything.
Drelly. Let's go back to Chicago.
Okay,
Chicago. Jeremy Brown, right? Jeremy Brown, Carlisha Hood, and her son.
Right.
You know who ended up losing out the most in that whole situation? I covered it on my channel.
Who?
Her son. Her son caught a damn body. Okay?
That's my son.
So this is what I'm saying. We can talk about the men. We can talk about the women. We don't gotta talk about none of them. Let's talk about the kids.
Thank you.
Okay, let's not. How about this?
See,
welcome. Hold on. Jay Tekashi, you came up. You haven't had a chance to just break it up earlier.
He ain't by himself though.
Right. Okay. And then we're gonna go to
They ain't talking points. Everybody saying it.
We'll save you for after Candy. Okay. Now, Jay Tekashi, you still there, brother?
So here, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, Jesus. I want to cut so bad. You have no idea right now. Okay. Let me answer your question, and then I'll ask something else. Because we went through a whole. I'll be honest, we went through a whole freaking. If you don't watch anime, you know what a whole arc is? That's what the hell we just went on. Like every freaking thing. People make really great points in that nature, but I maybe it was a question. Okay, shit. Then you said why is it important for men to have control of their emotions? Correct. It's important because, like me right now, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's best that you don't run your life being angry or pissed off. Because when you're angry and pissed off, you cannot think and you cannot move forward, and also your vision, your words, and your mind are fucking clouded. And I'm gonna dumb this down for cats in the streets.
Damn. He lost connection.
Can I say this? I was about to say this before.
I did not take him down, by the way. I mean, he really just
his
connection.
His connection is bad. I was gonna say this before Freezy went. The biggest thing, like I keep hearing on these panels, and it just irritates me because it's to Freezy's point. It's like, what about the children? We see all this fake virtue signaling from these. I don't care what you're gonna call them, feminists and feminist adjacent, feminist friendly people that's in the space, dark skin, whatever. It doesn't make a difference. At the end of the day, the dad not being there thing is solely, at a minimum, 70% because black mothers, black females, period, have a culture of child alienating. We can act like it's not the deal, but that's not the reality. Because we've overheard plenty of so-called black females, that nigga ain't gonna see his kids if he don't If I don't get what I want, he ain't gonna see his kids. Now we know that this happens. We know that this is a culture, but we'll allow them to sit on these panels or sit in real life and talk about dad wasn't there. You moved to another state. You called the cops when dad showed up. But then once the relationship broke down, he stopped coming around. You got another dude in the house with you. So you'll keep the dad away from the children, and then with another dude that's validating your end all be all, he'll give you some dick that week. He'll bear around the child more than the dad will be. And we keep listening to this. Oh, man, need to take responsibility. You mean a nigga you keep running from? That you don't need, but that's the one you got the babies from?
Make it make sense.
They keep this crap going. Oh, men need to step. No, the mothers need to take responsibility for neglect.
See, OJ Patrice was trying to explain her away earlier. But go ahead, no. But that's what I'm saying, though. No, go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is, we have to hold the black female accountable for pretending to be a mother, sitting in front of her child face, claiming I love you, but you keeping the dad and the baby away from each other because of what you've been saying to your homegirl who didn't make the baby with you. Like this is the things that are going on day in, day out. But we got, it's the guy's fault. They want to run around and mess with a bunch of, like, come on, bro. We know this. It don't matter if you were born in the suburbs. It doesn't matter if you're born in the hood. Everybody has this understanding. The entire world knows that black mothers are the most violent mothers on earth. I got a clip right now. I could bring it up. Andrew Tate saying, my black aunt used to come in the room and slap everybody around without asking questions. I got a clip right now to show you. I ain't making it up. And we can keep this, I'm saying it because everything that y'all been talking about, I've been doing it.
Okay.
Y'all 37 years behind. I did it. It don't work. Because there's always some mother undermining some little boy. They alienate cousins from each other. They alienate siblings from each other. Whoever's smart enough to teach the child that, hey, it's more out here than your mom and what she want. They do this shit, and I'm tired of hearing it. Because when you have I'm 37. So that mean when I was young, I wasn't into nothing. And I got to see this my whole life. The number one crime is something that a black mother is doing to their child. And then you want to talk about Pookie and Ray Ray. When this hooker got more bodies in her cemetery womb than them little boys got on the guns. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Mandra.
Okay, thank you very much.
Freezy, how was your relationship with your dad?
Damage.
Freezy, how was your relationship with your dad? Where was he?
So what now?
Your relationship with your father. How was he? Where was he? Was he around?
Why you ask me that?
Because I know the answer, and I just want a different perspective.
I'm saying what my father and my relationship, my father got to do with anything.
Because there seems to be.
Wait. Let's talk about me. What kind of husband I am. What kind of father I am. Let's talk about that.
So the reason why I brought this up is because to balance this conversation regarding everything is the woman's fault. I know that there are irresponsible women out here, and I don't run away from that. But it seems like these conversations are always very one-sided, and we don't get no one ever talks about, like, I'm happy for you to talk about what kind of amazing father you are, how responsible you are. You know how much love I have for you and how much I want you to profess that. But it seems like it's not spoken enough. We'll be happy to talk about how these women don't submit, how these women don't do this, and their wounds are.
Let's get candid.
But we won't have conversations about the fact that you guys also have real life experience.
Let's get candid. Let's talk about my father. I don't care. Let's talk about my father, right? My father was not an exemplary man. He was not. Me and you have discussed this before, and I don't care. I could tell the whole world this, but what I probably haven't told you is that my mother and my father had a tumultuous relationship. My mother used to talk to him like he was less than a man all the time, and I used to sit back and hear that. A lot. And I'm gonna tell you something. My dad always told me this, son. You will never understand until you get older. Because when I was younger, just like so many other young boys, I took my mother's side. See, kids don't understand the full dynamic of mothers and fathers of their parents' relationships. Most of the time they get their mama's side. And that's a fact. But I'm mature enough to say this right here. My dad was not an exemplary father, right? But it didn't help that my mother continuously beat him down with words. Now, if I'm gonna tell the truth, I gotta tell the truth across the board.
That's what I want to hear.
So all I'm saying is this: who did it affect the most? I agree with you, Candid Ann. I don't like these circular arguments about men and women. No, we always skip over the most important victim. It's the kids. I'm the one that growed up fucked up. I'm the one that ended up in the damn street. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to fix that. I think that's what Noble is saying. I think that's what the Black Man Unfiltered is saying. I think everybody on the panel agrees with that.
Yeah, so, I have no issue with that.
So the point I'm trying to make is when OG Patrice was on the panel earlier, I asked her about a married dynamic, people who are married already. She said, right? She said that if if a man's wife is just not going to listen to him, and he's tried being nice, he's tried not saying the word submissive, he tried rewording the word to make her happy, and she's still not complying. She said to leave that household, to leave his wife, and to leave that household, to break up the household. So listen, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that OG Patrice was necessarily wrong. I just wanted to get to that destination. I want you to follow me. I just wanted to get to that destination so you can see after the man. This is a woman that suggested for this man to leave if he's in that type of environment. But so often when these guys leave, these good fathers, they're labeled as missing fathers, guys that's not in the household, guys that's not taking care of business. We never have that discussion. That's all I'm saying. I wasn't trying to have a circular argument. I'm just saying I care about the kids. Do the women care about the kids? That woman that drove her husband away, do she really care about her kids? Nobody want to talk. Nobody want to answer that question.
I'm just trying to allow you to finish. I'm not trying to be rude.
I'm done. I just want that question to be answered. Like, do she really care about her damn kids? Because I care about the kids. You know, like I do, Candy, I'm a caregiver. I love my people.
Well, can I interject here?
Okay, go ahead.
Can I interject just for a second? You know, my brother's been sitting over here, and he's been really, really quiet. I would love to hear, Lost in Translation's perspective on this. Yeah, I didn't get to hear him that much in the conversation, so I don't know if we could allow him a space.
He was next, and then we're gonna go to Black David, and then I'm probably gonna end this thing. I gotta get something to eat.
Yes, sir.
Lost in Translation.
Mr. Von Bryant, thank you so much for stepping in. The Bible says, "Greater is a friend that'll lay down his life for a friend," and I really do appreciate that. In the midst,
hey, stop quoting that Bible. Lost in Translation.
I ain't done yet. Listen, let me just start, y'all. I'm gonna stick to the question. But before I do that, I'm gonna get a little housekeeping for you, Mandrill, because you're a little soft when it comes to your guest.
What do you mean?
Listen, people. Let me explain something to y'all. Do not go back and forth for an extended period of time because there are other people that's up here, and we want to make sure we're courteous to their time as well. Mandrill probably not saying that because he's the host. He probably shouldn't say that, but I'm going to come out and say that, and I'm going to keep this thing high and tight. Now, back to the original question, Mandrill, that you asked. Why is it important for a man to maintain his composure? Here's the thing. We have to realize that men are 6 parts. That's the reason why the number of man is 6. You have your mind, body, your soul version of yourself. You have the past, present, and the future version of yourself. It is important that you maintain control so you don't sabotage the future version of yourself, because you don't know who you're going to have to deal with in the future, who's going to have to be a partner or an ally to assist you leading your family in the future. Now, with that being said, women, the reason why the women don't respect us is because we don't respect ourselves. It seems like to me, every chance we get, we want to tear down men. And my thing is this: why should the women respect us if we don't respect us? I see these panels all the time, and everybody likes to take cheap shots at men and always say men are not smart enough, men are not good enough. Damn it, if we built this world, we're good enough. Now, my thing is this: we're going to have to learn how to control how we talk to each other and how we talk about each other in these streets, because these broadcasts are forever. And people will come back and they're going to listen to that. That's the reason why the women say, "Who are you to lead?" Because we don't advertise the brand as leadable. They're not gonna believe it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna put out a bad press about men, saying men ain't this and men ain't that, and then you're gonna turn around and then all of a sudden you expect them to fall in line. That doesn't make sense. Now, as far as women and men leading and all this other stuff, 1 Peter 3:7 says, "Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them accordingly," which is your wives. Give honor unto your wife, as unto they're the weaker vessel, and being heirs together in grace of life, that your prayers not be hindered. The reason why our prayers are hindered is because we're not listening to them. If there is nothing in it for them, why should they submit? That's all I'm saying. My whole thing is this: we're gonna have to make sure that we as men always make sure that we hold each other in high regard and in high esteem. People loves talking about Proverbs 31 woman. Well, if you read it down in there, there's a Proverbs 31 man, and what he does, he props up his wife. He speaks highly of her. He makes sure that his kids speak highly of her. And guess what's going to happen? She's going to speak highly of her husband. And after that, you're going to be held in the gates in high regard. That's what that is. That's all I'm saying. So when we get to these panels and we start talking about men don't do this, men don't do that, say that to a real man face and see what happens. It's easy for us to get on these YouTube streets and say what men aren't and what aren't, what they are and what they aren't. But if you stand flat-footed in front of other men and tell them he ain't about nothing, I guarantee you your tune will change. So my thing is this: I'm gonna wrap this up and I'm gonna land the plane, and I'm gonna stick to what I was saying before. Make sure that when you open your mouth and you say you want to correct a man, make sure it's followed up with a doggone thing to help him be better. You can't tear down somebody else without building them back up. That's a management trick. Anybody that's ever been in management knows when you want to correct somebody, you always start out with something good, then you put something in that needs to be corrected, and then you turn around and say, hey, look, this is where we go from here. You're not a bad person. We just need to do this. That's all I'm saying. We have to make sure that we manage the brand. We have to make sure that we stay on code. Thank you for Andrea for giving my piece. Thank you.
No, you were gonna get it anyway, man. I was trying to make my way to you, but I mean, like I said, I'm taking notes today on how to structure the show and the rules I'm gonna put in place because I gotta put rules in. That there have to be. You know what I mean? Because
that's how circular arguments get going.
Yeah, that's how circular arguments get going. You have to have rules to the show because everyone wants to respond to something. You know what I mean?
Right.
And say someone makes a comment, and then you might have two people want to respond to that person's comment, and then a whole nother conversation starts, and that's how it gets off the subject. You know what I mean?
Make sure we keep it above board, not making it personal.
Yeah.
Ideas and not people.
What I liked about today is that nobody took personal cheap shots at anybody.
I'm trying to figure out who did.
No, you didn't. What we're saying is like, whatever you attacked, it was that person's idea or their point of view. That there was no personal attacks on anybody today. That's the brilliant part about this conversation. Now, Black David, the Canadian-born Nigerian. As soon as I get that clip from Black Man Unfiltered, you're in trouble. Just saying.
Send it in there.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, Black David. I appreciate it.
There'll be a
number one.
There'll be a new one. You see me carrying Black Men Unfiltered and body slamming.
Okay, cool.
You body slam me, it's gonna be some furniture moving.
As soon as I get that Black David dance,
it's fine. It'll be WWE.
Stay loaded up in StreamYard, okay?
Anyway, first and foremost, I want to give my respect to Manziel because I have my broadcast. He came in support and I appreciate it.
You know, I got music playing in the background. We can't hear you. You gotta put.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be so loud to the speaker.
I got it. Yeah, no problem.
You sounded like a memory just now.
Yeah, you did.
Wow. I'll repeat it again. First and foremost, I used to have a broadcast last year with a co-host. That man just came over and he supported my show, which I really appreciated. So I want to do the same to Mandra as well. So I'm here to do that. Second of all, I had a great conversation. I was listening to the whole time when I was working. And I realized everyone have a solid angle or point concerning the issue at hand. But I hope that this channel will be a place for intellectual conversation, no argument, no throwing people on the bus, because we are grown people. We are no longer in the high school. I'm a granddad at the age of 45 and a dad. So that being said, let's be respectful. It was a great topic, a great subject to talk on, because this is not something you can talk over in one day, but it had to be solution-based. We know what the problem is. Now we need to focus on the solution, how we can make it better. To me, don't focus on the community, let's focus on the tribe. Build a tribe first. Be among people who see the same way you see things, and from there work toward that one. When that is done, everyone will follow after it. They will agree to look for a solution. Other than that, it's been a great show. I'll be respectful, keep it short and sweet.
Thank you very much, Black David. And now, Should I do final thoughts? I'm hungry, and I got a lady to tend to. So
Yeah, you should. I think you should.
Yeah.
You got Bob.
So what now?
Behind tight.
What happened?
What'd you say, world
What
class?
you said? You go first, and I'll say mine.
Okay, I don't know what that was, but anyway, thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for coming.
I said you had a blow up doll. That's basically what I was saying.
Oh,
go ahead.
no, I do not.
Wow.
Wow. Low and roll.
Hey.
Wow.
Anyway,
Shoot, you
Wow.
see this?
anyway,
Don't say anything.
Hey, Drilly, before you end the show, I want to say thank you, man. Mandrill called me. He asked me to co-host the show with him. So I don't know if people know that, but I was supposed to be like the co-host of the show today.
We got
So
you.
yeah. So and I want to say this also. I think that this conversation went very well. You know why? In my experience, nobody was interrupting people in their speech. Okay, that's when the conversation gets tumultuous. When somebody is talking and then you got people overlapping it, and then you're just wrestling up words and stuff. I don't mind somebody, getting passionate in their speech as long as they get to get it out. Clarity is the goal. That's the goal. I would, as a man, especially to other men, right? I would not censor another man being passionate about his viewpoint. I don't agree with it. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I know some people do have different ways of looking at stuff, but as long as people are not interrupting people talking, every time somebody talk, listen, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in interrupting people's speech. I don't believe in that. If y'all pay attention to Freezy, if you talking, I'm gonna let you talk. And then I'm gonna talk right after you're done. I might ask you, is you done? Yeah. But I want to say thank you, Drilly, man, for having me come on a co-host, man.
No problem.
I hope I ain't
Yeah,
caused too many problems. Yeah.
No, you didn't at all. You didn't at all. But I thought you did very well. To be honest, I hope the people in the audience liked it. That's what I'm concerned about. You know what I mean?
That's a hell of a first show, sir.
Is it a what?
I said that's a hell of a first show, sir.
Isn't it though?
Yeah, it is.
No, this is the first
You
one.
did that. Yeah.
3 hours and 40 minutes.
You did that.
Awesome job. Awesome job, man.
Appreciate it. And appreciate the shout out to Black Man Unfiltered. I don't know if he's still there. He took his kid to jiu-jitsu yet. But yeah, thank you for coming out and supporting me. Von Bryant, thank you for coming and supporting. I'm gonna I got a good idea of how much. You ever watch Thinking Man's podcast? Freezy.
Yeah, I seen his podcast. Yeah.
It'd be structured a lot like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he cool, man.
Yeah.
I would suggest to get a timer, have it on the screen, so you want to get about 2 minutes.
That's tacky as hell.
I'm saying that either 2 or 3. I'm saying that because sometimes you can't take everything under 1 minute. You want to make sure you have enough.
Well, if they get a timer, you definitely can't come on the damn panel. Then you knocking yourself out.
Another thing.
Timer, you can't come.
I can keep it within 2 minutes. I've done it before. So
hey, Drilly, another thing.
I love you, Black David, but
I love
the
you.
reason why I think your show was awesome is because it was organic. It didn't seem scripted. You know what I'm saying? It's good for conversations to actually organically evolve. As long as people are being cordial and respectful towards one, but you don't want. You have to think about your viewers, right? Your viewers want to see a real conversation, a real organic conversation. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that everybody, I said that earlier, I said, listen, and Candy Dan know what I'm talking about, Noble know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, BMU and Black David. We done been on panels where it was very immature and very, I'ma just say immature. But I just think that
childish.
It's a successful conversation as long as, but it needs to be organic as well. Because don't be surprised if certain topics start branching out. But you as the host, I agree with Lost in Translation. You as the host need to be the one that bring it back on in. Where you did a great job, and I don't know. I think you did a wonderful job as a host. You brought it back on in every time you felt like it needed to be brought back in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Final thoughts. Candidate, go ahead.
Big sis.
Anything you want to say?
No, I'll see you guys in the back chat. Congratulations. Sorry, it's storming. I'm not sure if you can hear the.
Yeah, we hear it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there's a storm. I apologize for that noise. I can't control the storm.
Not a problem.
Yeah. So congratulations on your first show. I'm happy to see you take that first step, and I'm sure you'll figure out, your format and get into the, now that you have control, pressing all the buttons and figuring out how you want it to run, and so yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the back chat. But I'm just hoping that we can have a different conversation on this channel, that we can look at the big picture. That's what it's named. And we're not talking about the same thing, the same conversation again, as already reproduced on so many other channels. I'm hoping that this offers something just a little bit different. But you know what? Even if it doesn't, it's your channel. Do whatever you like, and just congratulations on making that first step. Okay, brother? I'll see you guys in the back chat.
No problem. All right.
Let me be quick. I need to get out of here, head to the gym.
What?
Let me make it quick. My final thought. I need to get to the gym.
You gotta get.
Yeah.
You going?
Quick
You
and
going
Black
to the
David.
gym?
I'm planning to lift more weight. I can body slam Black man on foot.
Not a problem. Go ahead.
I told you.
I ain't taking no more of your time here.
Hey, Mandrell done seen me in person. Mandrell, know I'm gonna be hell to deal with, Black David.
Don't worry. Remember, I beat up Zebra and animals, so don't
Okay.
show the next one.
That's fine.
Okay, go ahead and give me your final.
This ain't Africa.
Yeah, I'll treat like Africa. Anyway, as I was saying, it's been a great show. I enjoyed the conversation. I'm looking forward for more great show, great conversation on the panel, a great topic. I would just say this: let's work toward a goal whereby we be more solution-based and think of a brotherhood. We're trying to build upon this because we don't want another show to be about 10 people that want to have a show that it build people up. We share knowledge and information based on that. Other than that, it's been a great first show, Mandrell. You did a great job, an excellent job, and I'm proud of you. I'm looking forward for more of your great shows in the future. And Black Men Unfiltered, don't worry, I'll beat you like a zebra. All right.
All right. Thank you, Black David. Appreciate it.
Oh.
Lost in Translation.
Mandrell, fantastic show, sir. Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
And much success. And like I said earlier, if you need anything, man, you know I am. I got you, and I still got that. What you need, man. I still got it. Send me your email address. I'll send it to you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
The shade.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, we need that. I'm messing people up with that.
I got you. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Oh, that's it? Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Let's see. Von Bryant.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Man, listen, it has been an honor to be up here with all of you gentlemen. Everybody had great perspectives. I love the way the conversation balanced out. No one was rude to each other or, spoke over each other or cursed each other out, which we see oftentimes. These conversations can get quite heated sometimes, right? We've all witnessed that, but it's good to come to a place where you know that you're going to get, a conversation where it's not hard. You don't have to fight your way into it. Some of these conversations, you just got to fight your way into it just to make a point, and I find those troublesome, and cumbersome to me, but I appreciate the space that you've created. And man, I wish you much success. I believe that your gift is definitely going to make room for you. And just keep up the good work, man. Continue to stay humble, continue to be open. You see what I'm saying? And I believe that God is going to bless you. And with that, good night, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
All
much.
right,
Brian. All right, now we got one more, a late comer. Look at this.
Pause.
Look at this. Look.
Pause.
Pause.
Kind of a leg.
Anyway, look at this. Look at this.
I late comments. Wow.
Yeah, the show just got gangster. Look at it.
Look at the show.
We were
just got
doing
gangster. Look
good,
at
man.
this.
We were doing good, man.
Well, didn't it? Then the thugs had to show up. World class and Tommy B.
Hey man, I had to go to the DMV, dog.
What's up, Tommy?
I went out earlier, but I had to go to the DMV.
No problem.
But no, I was just listening because I was gonna do the back chat.
Okay, no problem. Appreciate it. The world class.
All right. Well, I gotta get this out. I am terribly sorry. Yeah, wow. Yeah, pause. Yeah, I'm just go ahead and say this. I'm terribly sorry that you were born light skin. I hope that fixed. Hope that stops happening to you. They have creams for that. And welcome to the it's creams. They need to fix that. I think they had some like charcoal. Damn. That gotta stop. Because doing snowstorms, they're not gonna be able to find you. All right, yeah, congratulations. Welcome to the club. Of doing your first stream. You best your first stream. That's what's up. It's not you. So, never mind. I would hit a back check to tell you certain things. But it's a great conversation. Again, like Freezy said, organic. I think I was probably the youngest person that came up. Maybe when you're not. So I don't think all the interrupting things is gonna happen. It's not Fight Club. That's a shot. I meant that. So yeah, man, that's what's up. I wanted to give you payback for all the time you was acting up on my on my battle, stressing me out. But I'll save it for later. So
okay,
that's good, man. Appreciate you.
Not a problem, man. Thank you for coming.
No, whoa.
Black Man Unfiltered.
That's my dog right there, man.
Dwayne Wayne.
PM user.
You still there?
That man on his knees praying for you right now, really.
I guess he is. Well,
what you think? How you think it went, really?
I think it went all right. Now, he said, let's see, how do you share screen here, Freezy?
You shared mine?
I know. Okay, here we go.
Them the dogs right there. What they got to say?
Okay, cool. Yeah, here's what I want to do. Check this out. Now, you remember last night, someone called me a liar. Did that happen?
Somebody call you a liar?
Somebody. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was somebody in the chat, Freezy. Might have been somebody in the chat, Freezy, called me a liar. They said that I called their platform Manosphere Content. And I was like, no, that's not at all what I said. You're a liar. Oh, really? He said he was going to look this up. That's what he said. You know what I'm saying?
So this the proof right here?
Yes. I want to go over this conversation, Freezy. Now, these guys are talking about Manosphere Content and such and so on and what have you. You know what I mean? And so I left a comment.
And depending on who took you, who was probably your mama, you wasn't going to have that conversation in front of her. So it was this was a necessity, bro.
Yeah, so
they were saying that the Manosphere was a necessity.
Comment. Far too many people are in the wrong spaces, learning the wrong things, and they know it. Yet they stay in those spaces and reject solutions. It's disgusting. So, Mandrea, that go back to what I said about Dusto.
They heard that. Far too many people are in the wrong spaces, learning the wrong things, and they know it. Yet they stay in those spaces and reject solutions. It's disgusting. It is, isn't it?
But we talked about that though.
Right. Now here's the thing. Check this out.
If we use that principle on every single thing that we do, there would never be a space. Who should we listen to?
Boom. Did you hear the question presented to me?
Yeah.
Who should we listen to? Right? Who should we listen to?
Did you answer it yet?
I did answer that question.
Okay.
Now, here's a comment.
Like the space should burn, leave it fully.
Okay, and this is exactly the point, man. This is exactly
they can listen
the point.
They can listen to Sir Hale, Ricky Williams, World Class, 5100 Podcast, Black Man Unfiltered, DL Saint, Harris Tribe Media, Arshawn, just to name a few. Where did I say that any of those guys were Manosphere content?
Oh, you didn't?
The question was presented to me, who should we listen to? Who should we listen to? There you go. Thank you. You owe me an apology, sir. You owe me an apology. And I want it. Never called you Manosphere content. Never called you Manosphere. You didn't want to do it, so I did it. All I'm saying.
Yeah, you said it now. You said
I was answering the question. Yeah, he asked me, who should we listen to? There you go. That's just to name a few of them. There's plenty more out there. There's people in the chat they can listen to. Now, for people who saw that broadcast last night, now we have the proof. Yes, and this is the person who likes to bring receipts to shit, Freezy. You can't go. You can't go into battle with this one half cocked. You can't do that.
Oh,
he's gonna have receipts. Okay. So I figured.
Which one you talking about, TJ?
No. It wasn't them. It wasn't the 5100 Podcast.
Who you talking about?
I'm talking about Mr. He Said from Tribe.
He said, yeah, he's sharp.
Mr. Harris.
He said he is sharp. He's sharp.
He did.
He sharp. That's his new name. That's my name for him. He sharp. Yeah.
Yeah, he thought I was calling his platform Manosphere content. I'm like, no, I didn't. He's like, yeah, you're a liar. I'm like, wait, what? You know what I mean? I'm like, wait, did I? Like, he had me asking myself the question a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, what? Did I really do that? I'm like, no, I've never thought of them as Manosphere content. Now, Mr. Harris. Okay, sir, I apologize now. Formally as well. Yes, goddammit.
Drilly, did you have this up your sleeve the whole show? The
whole show, Freezy. The whole show. The whole show. I had this queued up on another tab.
Wow, man.
I had this queued up on another tab, Freezy. Wait.
Hey, that's why you would say, hey, okay, listen. Let's move on to the next topic. You trying to get here.
I was trying to move the show on. Mr. He Said, that's right. I waited 3 hours and 55 minutes to call you a cracker. Okay? No, I'm kidding.
Well, you crazy.
I waited 3 hours and 55 minutes to do that, Mr. Harris. Okay? Just letting you know. I'm not a petty man. And I want to get everything out the way and let everyone have their say before I got to this. But it's just to show and say, hey, man, listen. No, I mean what I say now. But I'm human, and I am subject to make mistakes. You know. But that doesn't happen often. Let's be honest. I mean, it's like that, Freezer. You're either perfect or you're not me. That's just how it is. So...
Now you pretty sharp yourself too. You sharp, man.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, because what happened was like last night I was looking at watching that show. I was like, wait, I couldn't have called him Manosphere. I was like, there's no way. So I watched the show again to see if I had done it on mistake or if something I said could have been taken out of context or by mistake or something like that. Then I looked at it, I was like, no, I was asked the question, what can we listen to then? I was like, okay, well, here you go. Listen to them.
Yeah, you had it in black and white now.
Yeah, just saying.
You did do that.
I thought I was the one that messed up. I was like, wait. Then I said, oh, that's what he's talking about. Okay, he misunderstood that. You know, he must have thought I was calling them Manosphere. I was like, no, not at all. Right. No, they're not Manosphere. Him, Sir Hale, Black Man Unfiltered, that's not Manosphere content.
You know
like
what
I said, it's because they actually care. They actually try to help people.
You know what I've noticed lately though? A lot of people. To Candid Ann's point, a lot of people in these spaces are rejecting the Manosphere now. It's kind of shifting. You see it?
It is. I do. But we're gonna end this show now. Thank you for everybody for coming out. I'm gonna actually eat for the first time, and I'll keep that secret. And haven't been feeling well. But anyway, thanks for coming, everybody. Later.
Your kung fu is pretty good.